Donegal Deputy Padraig McLaughlin is warning that the hospital is under severe pressure and strain from COVID and non-COVID care. He says Letterkenny is constantly top of the table for the wrong reasons, and it's high time the government intervenes.
We need a special attention being paid to Donegal. Letterkenny Hospital, has repeatedly been at the top of the table when it comes to the amount of people on trolleys that can't get into proper beds and wards. Of course, then the other side of that is the pressure, unbelievable pressure on our healthcare workers. So we've had those meetings now with the Letterkenny Hospital management, with the Sale to Hospital Group management, and we are very clear on what the issues are, and we know now what the government needs to do, and they need to step up here.
And new data centres owned by big tech companies like Google, Amazon and Facebook will need their own emergency power supplies if they're to be allowed access the national grid. The Irish Times reports they'll also have to cut consumption when required, under measures being considered by the Commission for Regulation of Utilities. It's aimed at easing pressure on the country's electricity network and is set to be unveiled within days. Environmental journalist John Gibbons says the new rules are a step in the right direction.
We already have 70 data centres in operation in Ireland, with lots more planned. Now, each of these data centres, in terms of electricity consumption, is using about the equivalent of a medium-sized Irish town, so about 40,000 houses. So what we've seen, for example, over the last 4 years, we've added the equivalent of another 500,000 households worth of data centres.
Feeling fresh and cold this morning. Today will be dry with a good deal of cloud and limited sunny spells and temperatures of 6 to 9 degrees. We're back with more at 10 o'clock. Until then, good morning.
At Irish Life Health, our benefit plan helps you embrace a healthier lifestyle. Get up to €250 back on a mix of benefits like fitness wearables, dietitians and sports clubs like your local GAA club. It's health insurance, but not as you know it. Search Irish Life Health.
Irish Life Health Act is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Terms and conditions apply. Call us to see exactly what's covered.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Are your tyres ready for winter? Call into Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to noon show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Good morning, 3 minutes past 9, Tuesday the 23rd of November, and it's another edition of the 9 till noon show. Welcome along. Busy show as always coming up, including the Community Garda slot coming up for you just after 10 o'clock, and so much more besides. Get involved with the conversation. We still have some comments from yesterday that we just simply didn't have a chance to get to, which I will read out, of course. Add yours to the list. WhatsApps or text to the following number, 086 60 25,000. That's how you have yours say. Raise your issue, make your comments. If you want to give us a call, Caroline on the phone lines as always, 07491 25,000. Good morning as you join us across our social media. Welcome on YouTube. Highland Radio Ireland. Feel free to comment there as you can on Facebook /Highland Hub or Highland Radio News and Sport. And always, as always, your emails welcome to comments at highlandradio.com. Right, let's look at the papers today. We'll start with the locals, as we always do. The Donegal Democrat, Donegal's 37 county councillors are set to get a big pay increase in 2022. Their pay for serving on the council, known as representational payment, will increase by just under 40% from $18,707 per year to more than $26,000 a year. Approval for the increase was sanctioned earlier this year by the Cabinet, which took into account the recommendations of the independent review by Sarah Moorhead, published in 2020. Since then, there has been a further increase in the amount they will get as part of the rise in public sector pay rates from October 1st. The country's 949 councillors, who sit on 31 local authorities, will be eligible for the pay hike, which will cost an additional €9 million per year nationally to the taxpayer. The Derry Journal today, a tourist caught up in the Fitzroy's, that's right, fire in Derry yesterday. He's grateful, the fire service, grateful for them, but heartbroken for the staff and owners. Dubliner Anthony Kane was in Derry for the weekend and staying in digs above the restaurant when he realised something was badly wrong. Is there someone from Dublin up at a restaurant in Derry? And this is besides the point, a tourist. I wouldn't have classed someone from Dublin in Derry or Donegal as a tourist, but anyway, as I say, that's an aside to an important story here. I woke around 6 a.m. with the smell of something burning. We looked out the window and saw smoke billowing out of the building. I went downstairs and across the road and the fire brigade arrived. The IT worker and photographer said his immediate concern was that someone may have been staying in the apartment above, but this proved not to be the case, and hopefully they get Fitzroy's back up and running and back into action as soon as is possible. All right. If I go to Dublin, am I a tourist, I wonder? I'd have hoped I wouldn't. Anyway, the Irish Times tells us that the cut-off date for new entrants to pandemic business supports may be extended if more sectoral closures are forced due to the worsening decrease in the country, the Irish Times has learned. And it's interesting, everyone's talking about December 13th, December 20th, all these types of dates that's been bandied around. And it's all off the back of one report that was published in it's not in any way disrespectful, but a small enough publication. It's the Liberal. It's controversial enough as well too, because it's a controversial enough news outlet, or at least was in the past. But it had one story quoting two sources that said that there may be a lockdown on December 23rd, December 20th, and it was screenshot and shared absolutely everywhere. I got at least 20 or 30 direct messages with the screenshot saying, have you seen this? Is it true? I'm not saying it's not true. Anything could be true. You could pick any date in December and say anything could happen, such as the way it is. But at the end of the day, they made an announcement as it relates to trying to reduce the figures. And if that works, the last thing they'll want to do is close before Christmas, because there's a ton of money to be clawed in before Christmas. They'd want to do anything to avoid that. But if they continue to go upward, well, then maybe they might do something further. The only problem is that, and I don't mean this with any disrespect to anyone who might end up in hospital, that die has been cast. Whoever is going to end up in hospital over the next week or two already has COVID, and that can't be adjusted. So I don't know what metric they use. Will they use cases or hospitalizations? If it's hospitalizations, well, an increase in the numbers is something of a fait accompli. If it's cases, an R rate, well, maybe it might be somewhere different. But as I say, I don't think any decisions have been made as of yet. And the last thing they'll want to do is to shut down pre-Christmas. And then in the schools, they're talking about amongst themselves, the students, that they might close for a week ahead of Christmas or a week afterwards, but it's all speculation. But sure, look, that's what we do, isn't it? I'm reading now, a high-powered government committee met last evening, and while no options were signed off on as it relates to these measures, it's understood that allowing new entrants into the employment wage subsidy scheme, the EWSS, is under consideration. Obviously, we've interviewed this gentleman on this programme before, and of course he is from Donegal. So an interesting story in the front of the Irish Independent. Grieving father Andrew McGinley was dropped from the Late Late Show lineup after the broadcaster received correspondence objecting to his appearance. It's an unusual one. The father of three was due to appear on October 8 to announce plans for a fundraising concert in his children's memory. It was hoped the high-profile slot would raise funds for the As Dara Did charity. However, just hours before the show was to air, he announced he would not be appearing. In response to queries, Mr. McGinley said, I was informed by RTE they had received a letter which said that it could be a painful and traumatic experience to see me talking about Conor, Dara and Carla. That story is continued on the inside of the paper, and it gives just more details as to that last-minute decision there. The Irish Daily Mail, we want more restrictions, apparently. Over half the country's population... First of all, that's BS. It's not half the country's population. I'll explain why. Half the country's population want tougher restrictions to curb COVID-19 cases and avoid a winter lockdown, according to a poll. After a week of warnings about the steep rise in COVID-19 case numbers, Department of Health data reveals 56% of people want the government to go further with more restrictions, as many cancel their nights out and slash their social contacts. Almost 57% that say they've decided to reduce the number of people they plan to meet between now and Christmas, while 45% of people have cancelled plans. Now, I might be on my own on this one, right? But this Amarak research, which I believe you have to opt into, does not consider the views of anyone under the age of 18. It does not consider the views of people from 12 to 18 years of age. And what we're doing here is a cherry-picking statistics to suit ourselves. So when we want to talk about the amazing success of the vaccination programme, for example, and I know some of you don't see it, is that it's 12 plus, isn't it? It's over 12s, and we're the envy of Europe and the world. And we talk to our 12 to 18-year-olds. We say, don't do that, don't do this. They come to us and say, look, Mum, look, Dad, I want to get this vaccine because I can't go on my transition year trip until I get the vaccine. Can I get it? Or they might even say to you, look, I'm not going to head to my mate's house this evening because, you know, their granny's sick or could be sick and I don't want to give them a disease or whatever it is, right? So we've got 12 to 18-year-olds heavily impacted by this whole pandemic, making really grown-up decisions. We include them when it suits us. But as it relates to the likes of this survey, their opinions do not matter. We don't even ask them what they think. We just all of a sudden speak about people, not including them. And I think I would have more respect for this research. In fact, I would have some respect for it if it actually included the views of that cohort of people that we ask so much of, that we expect to be responsible, or we respect their decisions, whichever way it goes. But when it comes down to something like this, an opinion poll, how it might affect them and their lives, we don't even ask them. It's just the adults that have that conversation. Now, as I say, I probably, you might text in and go, well, who cares what they think? I don't know what people think. But for me, that research, if it doesn't include those people, to me, it doesn't stand up and it doesn't represent the views of this country. But anyway, as I say, it's up. I could be on my own on that one. The Irish Daily Star, Amherst needs to, right, either make it very clear that 12 to 18-year-olds are not included, or don't talk about it as if it's the people, because it's not the people. There's a lot more than 18 and overs that have sacrificed so much, given up so much, made grown-up decisions, had to grow up very quickly, and they disregard their opinion, and it's spewed out in the front of the page as if it is representative of their opinion, and that makes me sick. The Irish Daily Star, Sinn Féin leader Marilyn McDonald said talk of a Christmas lockdown needs to stop. She said the government lacks a plan to cope with the latest wave of COVID-19, and that plans to ramp up the booster programme and roll out discounted antigen tests needs to speed up. Ms McDonald said that's what's been sadly lacking here. I recognise that all of this is difficult. A pandemic is difficult. This virus is awful. I know I was one of the very many people who are sick with the virus, but what we've had is a government that has been consistently a day late and $1 short. Some encouraging news overnight. The rate of hospitalisation dropped by 80 overnight across the country, and by 37% at Letterkenny University Hospital. So I know when things go up, their platform, front page stuff, when things go in the other direction, maybe not so much. But the number in hospital with COVID in Letterkenny reduced by 37% over the course of yesterday, and by 80 across the country. The Sun tells us that there has been a sharp rise in assaults on frontline Gardaí over the last year. The Garda Representative Association has claimed the group, which represents over 12,000 officers, will raise awareness of growing levels of attacks on Gardaí at their 43rd annual conference. The event taking place in Cloney, County Kerry today is titled Communities Matter, So Do We. And last but not least, what do you think about this one? Maybe it's the way things should be going, I suppose, judging people differently because they've got different bits and pieces. Is it old hat? Is it old-fashioned? Well, it's not going to happen any longer at the Brit Awards because they have scrapped their male and female categories, replacing the gender-specific award with a single Artist of the Year gong. Non-binary singer Sam Smith, previously nominated in the Best Male category, had criticised the Brits for lacking inclusion by keeping gender awards. But the decision has raised concerns that dropping the female categories in an awards previously criticised for its male dominance will lead to women being snubbed. Well, that in itself is a problem. If the problem is that judges can't see past gender, having two different awards is not the solution, is it? Get new judges or get a new voting criteria, for crying out loud. But February's ceremony is likely to see Adele up against Ed Sheeran for Artist of the Year and Album of the Year awards. And I would say no harm to Ed. He's not in with a chance. Adele will sweep that up. But anyway, what do you think? Should they retain the male, best female actor, singer awards? Or is it best just to judge everyone equally on their talent, regardless, as I say, of their bits and bobs? All right, 9:15. You can text or WhatsApp this programme on 086 60 25,000 or give us a call right now on 074 91 25,000. First guest with you on the way.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Are your tyres ready for winter? Call into Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
It's the Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off on all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. Stores nationwide. Sale ends Sunday.
From the smallest shrub to the largest tree in an awkward place, Donnelly Tree Services provide a complete range of tree surgery services. Whether you need to remove a dangerous tree or some nuisance branches, Donnelly Tree Services have the experience and expertise to carry out tree surgery to the highest of professional standards. Call 083 005 9939. Donnelly Tree Services, Donegal. No job is too small, no tree is too tall.
Forward Emphasis International, based in Mallinhead, are actively recruiting for customer service advisors with both permanent remote working and hybrid opportunities available. Experience in contact centres or insurance services is desirable but not essential, as full training is provided. Fully funded financial services qualifications delivering attractive career path opportunities are available. Please visit their website www.forwardemphasis.ie or apply via their careers page.
If you want to get in shape or stay fit through the winter and beyond, you won't want to miss the Black Friday sale in Inish Fitness at the Waterfront Hotel Donnelly, where they're giving a whopping 20% off all memberships from the 26th to the 30th of November. Why wait until Christmas to purchase a gift voucher? Give your loved ones the gift of fitness this year or treat yourself to a healthier you. Call 07495 22590. Inish Fitness, the future of fitness in West Donegal.
Visit Century Complex. Treat yourself to a tasty meal at Backstage Bar and Grill, an exciting movie at Century Cinemas, or let the little ones explore Century Play. Call us on 074 9121976 or check out our website centurycinemas.ie for more information on Century Complex.
At Letterkenny Shopping Centre, we're already dreaming about the festive season, so why not make a start? Park for free and enjoy your Christmas shopping this year. Letterkenny Shopping Centre, bringing you the time at...
Now the time is just turning 18 minutes past 9. Now, yesterday we got a question in from one of our listeners who, their young person needed dental treatment and they wanted to do it quickly. They were told they'd be waiting 2 or 3 years. So they went to Northern Ireland to get it done, spent about £2,200 sterling. And we got on to Michael Cole at the tax clinic for an answer, because we promised that we would. And he said, we get questions about this all the time when someone gets a medical treatment outside of Southern Ireland. So firstly, yes, tax relief can be claimed back for orthodontic work like this, even if done in Northern Ireland. The tax relief can be claimed on the amount converted to euro. You would get 20% in tax back on the euro equivalent. So if it was 2,600, you would get €520 tax refund. But, and there's always a but, you must have paid tax in the first place to get the tax back. So if the parents were on a social welfare, for example, and paid no tax, then they can't get tax back, i.e. you must have paid tax in the first place to be able to claim a refund to get some of it back. Okay, which perhaps they have. I would imagine maybe they have, right? So what that means is that it might not be everything, but you can get up to €520 back of that 2,600 outlay. Right, now, Dr. Gerard Rorty is a vet and farmer. He joins us on the programme now. Good morning to you, Doctor. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me, Gerard? Right, okay. I don't think Jared's connected on audio there, Caroline, so he might not be able to hear me. I might try him one more time, so hold the line there. Right, traffic lights at Stranorlar are shocking. It's a bottleneck during rush hour. There needs to be a relook at ways of easing traffic at that junction. The lights at each junction is not freeing up traffic. Cars are also entering the yellow box and blocking up cars travelling from the Finn Valley to Ballybofey Junction, especially when lorries are travelling on it. I've seen so many crashes around that area. Surely it needs proper investigation on ways to improve it. I would love to hear someone from the County Council on the matter. And I think the problem is it's such a slow and difficult junction that, especially since sort of pedestrian crossing was included in it, that people get frustrated and chance their arm, and sometimes therein lies the problem. Right, just to remind you, you can contact us on 086 60 25,000 or call 074 91 25,000. Right, I'll try Dr. Rorty one more time before we switch to the phone. Can you hear me, Doctor? No, unfortunately not. Right, Caroline, we'll switch to the phone on that one because it is an important issue, right? More of your comments here. Hi, Greg. We'd be grateful if you could read this out on your programme. Donegal GAP Heritage and History Group will hold their 2021 AGM on Saturday, the 4th of December at 11 a.m. in Ednafa Hall, Glenties. COVID-19 guidelines will apply. Everyone most welcome. For further information, please email ardraheritagehistory@gmail.com. ardraheritagehistory@gmail.com. Greg, would you discuss the issue of allergies and eating out? I had 2 bad experiences eating from a deli in a shop recently. My son has a nut allergy. When I asked if there was any chance that they could use a clean knife and breadboard before making up his food, they huffed and puffed. When you ask them to be careful, clearly lacking the understanding of what could happen to him. Yesterday I went into a deli and they said they can't guarantee me that everything was nut-free. Surely to God they should be able to. I'm just wondering how others with allergies have found trying to eat out. And I understand what you're talking about there, because I have seen foods that, not that I'm allergic to, but I certainly don't like. The knife being used on those, wiped and then straight onto my order. Not fantastic now, okay, if you've any experience of that. Right, Dr. Rorty, can you hear me okay? No, that's just not going to work there. Right, we'll batter on here, because I've got more of your comments. We were talking about gambling. Jennifer, this was the end of last week. Jennifer texted in to say, gambling is a scourge. It destroys lives. The incredible thing is that the National Lottery are featuring nice adverts now showing how they have helped funded community projects, while it is on the back of misery for many. And I think lots of people put all their hope on winning the Lotto and delay making life choices or improvements to their lives and just pin all hope on winning the Lotto. Does that happen? Would people be that inclined to defer things in their life because they might win the Lotto? The chances of winning the Lotto are very, very, very remote, and the chances of getting 5 numbers are remote, but the chances of getting 6 numbers are way, way, way more remote. I think people think that if you get 5 numbers, you're really close to getting 6, when you're not, because the odds are multiplying all the time. So the jump from 5 numbers in terms of odds and likelihood is so much greater when you go up to 6. We were talking about that yesterday, of course. And another thing too, the Lotto, if you have the app for scanning tickets, it is constantly pushing you to enter the Lotto, be it the Wednesdays, Saturdays, Euro Millions, Daily Millions, scratch cards. It's constantly at you saying, look, have a go at this, have a go at this. Right, okay. The Agriculture Minister has given reassurances that everything is being done to combat bird flu. Confirmed H5N1 has been detected in a turkey flock in Monaghan, with additional surveillance steps put in place. It comes as a number of wild birds in Donegal were confirmed with the condition earlier this month. Now, we are joined by Dr. Gerard Rorty, who is a vet and farmer. Good morning to you, Dr. Rorty. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Not too bad, and sorry for those earlier technical difficulties. Okay, so what is bird flu, and why is it something that sort of makes the news, or something that those in the industry be very worried about?
Bird flu it's an influenza virus that's carried in wild birds, and it circulates naturally in the wild bird population. And every year it's inevitable around November, around this time of year, because we're on the East Atlantic Flyway, it's inevitable Ireland will have a few outbreaks of the virus, which doesn't cause much of a problem at all in wild birds. The big difficulty that we have is because we intensively farm poultry. Our poultry farms are naive and are very suspect to infection of this wild flu virus. So what farmers have to do, particularly in Monaghan, where there's a very high concentration of poultry farms, is bring on all the birds and make sure that the wild birds don't have access to them to cause disease. So it's the same way we protect ourselves against foot and mouth and cattle. Whenever we have an outbreak in one of the larger poultry farms, what we start to do is slaughter out whatever birds are affected, and then try and have exclusion zones to stop it spreading.
So, and I'm not being facetious in this at all, it's effectively a lockdown for the birds.
It's effectively a lockdown for the birds, but it's something that's inevitable, and it's something that has been happening for centuries. Viruses circulating in the wild bird population in the same way as they circulate in the human population. And I suppose a good analogy would be to describe what happened when measles went across the Atlantic to the States and we started wiping out Indians. It's the same thing. The wild birds have a natural immunity. Some of the Irish birds will die with it. But it doesn't cause a major problem apart from where you've intensively farmed poultry houses.
So what then happens next? You talked about birds have to be cold. Do they? Would an entire flock have to be cold? How do they determine, what birds die and what birds don't?
Basically, what they'll do is the vets from the Department of Agriculture who will control the outbreak will try and figure out which birds are at risk, which birds are becoming infected, and they will cull out that house, and then they'll set up an exclusion zone to try and protect it spreading. And the critical thing, and this is the really critical thing, is then they'll give a direction. And this happens on a yearly basis. They'll give a direction to all major poultry producers just to ensure what they call biosecurity, to ensure that wild birds don't have access into poultry houses and there's no means of spread. Now, it's a cyclical thing because, as I said, we're on the East Atlantic Flyway where about 90 million birds will travel from US, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Siberia, on their way down through Western Europe. A lot of them will stay with us. About 1 million will stay with us. The rest of them will carry on down, heading right down to the south of Africa. So again, it'll be in the press for a while till Christmas. It'll die off, and we'll hear about it again next autumn. But I think the one thing that kind of rattles people a wee bit is that there's always the suspicion that we might, as to whether or not it's a zoonosis. So zoonosis is a disease that can spread from birds or from animals to humans. Now, the H5N1 is not a particularly pathogenic virus insofar as it doesn't cause too serious a disease, and it would be really, really difficult for a human to become infected. But what's more concern to us is a different one called the H5N6. It's another orthomyxovirus which has appeared in China, and there has been over 20 infections there, because people often speculate back to the great flu virus of 1918 and that great pandemic, which made COVID look like a play, as to whether or not it originated out of wild birds.
Yeah, and then of course people are going to worry about crossover and all that type of stuff as well, and new variants and what have you. We don't want to over-amplify the dangers in that regard, but everyone's up to high dough at the moment. So
everyone's up to high dough, but I mean, you can be absolutely reassured there is zero risk of disease from the H5N1. To contract that, you would need to literally get one of these birds that had died with H5N1 and actively try and infect yourself with it from the bird. And even at that, it's not going to cause too major a sign of disease. But what is interesting in the story, I think that something gets us farmers get no real credit for, is that from an environmental point of view, we play a massive role in East Donegal and facilitating the East Atlantic Flyway. Farmers go out of their way to get involved in environmental schemes to ensure that a lot of these birds that arrive exhausted from Greenland and Iceland and Canada have somewhere to graze. And if you go down to Ashland, you'll see an incredible sight the amount of those birds, the wetland birds that have arrived from places like Siberia or Canada, exhausted, having crossed the Atlantic on their next stage of heading south.
So where are they coming from?
They're coming. We're on the 8 major flyways in the world in terms of where birds migrate. And this has been happening since the year dot. So we're on what's known as the East Atlantic Flyway. So the East Atlantic Flyway, the birds come from the US, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Siberia, and they're heading south, skirting off Western Europe. The bottleneck is the Rock of Gibraltar, because these birds have got to avoid the Sahara Desert and the Atlas Mountains. And for an awful lot of them, the first port of call is Donegal. Now, Donegal is massively important because the first port of call in the Western Highlands, Scotland's not much good to them because there's not much grazing. But along the banks of the Swilly from Manor Cunningham, Newton Cunningham, Burt, the whole way down along, you'll see a lot of those birds arrive, a lot of the geese and swans arrive there, and they'll graze in the grass. And a lot of our farmers are involved in schemes to ensure that they have grass growing at an unseasonable time of year. So when these birds arrive exhausted, there's somewhere to graze.
And that's left for them. That's all planned. I mean, I'm sure there's some compensation there for it.
Yeah, there's a wee bit of compensation, but it's a real good news story that people aren't aware of. If you go to the Manor Cunningham viewpoint, you go to that Manor Cunningham viewpoint that's on the Wild Atlantic Way. You have one farmer in particular that does incredible work. Michael and Heather Wallace do great work to ensure that most of their land is suitable for the swans and the geese that arrive coming in from Siberia and Canada. And if that grass wasn't there, a lot of those would die. And as a lot of them, they will stay on. There's a significant proportion of those wetland birds will stay in Ireland. Roughly 1 million will stay in Ireland, but the other 89 million will head on further south.
Now, I mean, okay, there's a few things going on here that's amazing. Nature is one of them. I mean, in terms of the journey, the fact that and man working with nature as well, the fact that, I mean, in terms of the distance they're travelling and how they travel to find this area, I mean, it's like a needle in a haystack, but they're equipped to be able to do it, and that we have the table set for them when they arrive. Okay, when we have the table set for these 90 million odd birds, or the 1 million that we host for the season, that we have the table set for them when they arrive, and then they just get up, head over the Rock of Gibraltar and onward. It really is. Nature is remarkable, but also that little bit of harmony between man and nature too, as you say, not talked about, but it really is quite great.
Yeah, and the one big thing as well that we have to credit for as well is we're one of the few countries that actually give tremendous protection to those birds. Unfortunately, as they head further south, particularly there's parts of Europe where a lot of the hunters will go out of the way. You know, the swans, for example, are iconic in Irish folklore, and you know, there's no one with a gun in Ireland's going shooting a swan. But a lot of those birds, when they travel further south in Europe, it's fair play in terms of people actually attacking them or trying to take them out.
I'd say the biggest threat here is power lines.
Power lines are, but these birds tend to skirt the coast. What they tend to do is come down along the coast. Most of them tend to hit Derry or Donegal on we're their first landing point, and then they're skirting down further south. Now, there will be a certain amount of them, as I said, a certain amount of them will be carrying that wild flu viruses and the bird flus, and people with poultry, a lot of people who now keep poultry know around this time of year to actually keep their birds inside because it's a time of high risk. And the Department of Agriculture, every so often, they'll issue a report and a warning on this time of year saying, look, how's all your poultry for the foreseeable future to this stage out and again.
Fascinating, Jared. Thanks very much. It really is. And as I say, it's actually really good to give credit to those that you mentioned and those that we didn't mention that do their bit as well. And just
as I said, at this time of the year, you know, take a run out for your binoculars to Manor Cunningham Viewpoint or on down to Island. And as I said, we're a world-renowned location, you know, from an ornithological point of view. And just to think that you've had 90 million birds have flown exhausted across the Atlantic to arrive here and are so glad to get here.
I presume they would try and time their journey to be assisted as best as possible with airflow.
Airflow is massively important, and as I said, that's why, I mean, it's obviously evolved over centuries, but why this particular pattern on the East Atlantic flyway is that there is no real difficulties in terms of barriers on their way down. Now, the significant barrier for them is the Sahara Desert and the Atlas Mountains when they're heading on further south into South Africa. And again, you know, Rock of Gibraltar in that area is a bottleneck for them in terms of where they're actually travelling further south.
All right, brilliant stuff. Listen, thanks, Jared. Appreciate it greatly. That's Dr. Jared Rorty there, who's a vet and a farmer. Fascinating stuff, I think, anyway. I hope you agree. Get involved in that conversation, 9125,000. Call Caroline there, or text 086 60 25,000. Some more of your comments here. Just wondering about the school bus until today. The buses ran at 50% capacity to help stop the spread of COVID from this morning. The bus is running at full. Surely with the high numbers of COVID, this doesn't seem to make much sense. And also, too, you know, of course, we're thinking of our younger people. But what about the people driving these buses as well? They've got more people on the bus with them. I presume, and maybe someone in the industry can if it is a problem, I don't particularly know, but they had a contract or were being paid to operate more buses to people. I presume they don't have buses lying around. What happens to these extra buses that might not be used any longer? Or maybe they were doing double runs and didn't get extra buses, as I say. but still, it's a big change. 18 years ago, 2 of my children needed braces and were waiting 6 years for them. Eventually, they were told that it couldn't be done on the medical card as there were not orthodontists available. There were none of them, and that they were being taken off the list. We had to go private, and they cost €4,200 each. Now, if that were now, you would get a proportion of that back, €8,400 per child. I wonder, did you claim the tax back at the time? If that man pays tax, he can claim tax relief at a standard rate for all medical expenses. Yes, indeed. My son has braces. We paid €3,000 and we're very happy with the results so far and the treatment he received. I was told by the orthodontist to apply to revenue for a tax rebate. Guess how much they got back off a £3,000 spend? €27. I wonder, did you check across all tax years? Maybe, I don't know, there has to be a... unless it's relevant to how much tax you were paying. I'm not sure of the ins and outs, so I would be telling a lie. All right, we're going to be speaking to a gentleman shortly, looking to track down a long-lost relation. Stay where you are.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Get your tyres winter ready. Drop in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
It's not just a sewing machine. For Maya, it's a chance to give her family a better life. It's not just a way to make a living. It's a chance to give her daughter an education. Like thousands of mothers, Maya lives in fear of what the future holds for her little girl. And it's not just. This Christmas, your love can make all the difference. Visit trocra.org or call 1850 408 408. Trocra, until love conquers fear.
At Smith's Daleside, our range of high-energy beef diets will give you increased daily live weight gain and quicker finishing times. Talk to our sales team at Smith's Daleside about our range of beef feeds on 074 9171 300.
Make Christmas for everyone with incredible deals on household electrics at Dunnes Stores. We've got an amazing offer on Oral-B electric toothbrushes, now better than half price. And selected Morphy Richards kitchen appliances like kettles, toasters and hand blenders are now half price. Plus, with our 10 off 50 grocery voucher, you save even more. Dunnes Stores. Make Christmas for everyone. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next grocery shop of €50 or more.
Most people say that Donegal is the coolest place on the planet, but up here we know that sometimes it can be the coldest. Charles Bunner & Sons Ballybuffet is the one-stop shop for all your heating needs. We have a huge range of multi-fuel and wood pellet stoves and ranges, spare parts for all major stove and range brands, plumbing and bathroom ware, all at exceptional prices. So visit our showrooms where our friendly and experienced team will be ready to help you. Charles Bunner & Sons Ballybuffet and the stovestore.ie, where you can always do a good deal better.
Hi, I'm Clara and I'm a jewellery box ballerina. Yeah, now with work I'm constantly on my feet, literally going in circles. So being in a cold house just wound me up the wrong way. Then the home energy upgrade happened, with grants from SEAI for insulation, heat pumps, you name it, totally transformed the place. Search SEAI Home Energy Upgrade and discover a new world of comfort.
Supported by the Government of Ireland.
Oh, it's fab.
For fantastic Black Friday deals, visit Rossview Interiors Letterkenny, where there's amazing savings on a large range of sofas, in stock and ready for delivery before Christmas. There's also huge savings on bedroom and occasional furniture, dining sets and Hollywood mirrors with dressing tables, the perfect Christmas gift. That's right now at Rossview Interiors, the home of better deals, at Rossview Business Park, Letterkenny, just off the Polestar roundabout. See rossviewinteriors.com.
Okay, we welcome Anthony onto the programme now. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you keeping?
Grand.
Right, this is not your first time on with us, is it?
No. I think it was probably about 2 years ago we were on before.
Mm. And can you tell us what that was about?
Basically, I was trying to trace... I'm adopted and I was trying to trace my birth mother.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I went on the radio, had her name, Philomena Mcmanum, and I got plenty of calls from it and found out where she was, who she was, where she lived and all that, which was great.
Okay. And can I ask, were you able to connect or...?
No, she died in 2001.
I'm sorry to hear that. I think actually now I remember that story. But in terms of... I don't know, did you get answers? Did it help you, in other words? You know, obviously, it's sad to hear that your mother had passed away, but...
left me with more questions than answers.
Okay, and we're going to try and answer some of them today, is that right?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Now, it's a big reach. I found out there a week ago that I have another sibling, that I have a brother who is 2 years older than me, and that I never knew existed. And up to a couple of years ago, the Mcmanum family never knew I existed. So basically, I'm looking to see if anybody that maybe my mother, Philomena, or Phyllis, she was better known as, might have confided in somebody or said something to someone, or somebody might put two and two together. The person I'm looking for is a Martin Anthony Mcmanum. Now, that was his name on his birth cert, and he was born on the 26th of July in Mother and Baby Home in Navan Road in Dublin.
So he's just coming 1 or 2 years shy of 60.
Yes.
Okay.
No, he wouldn't be. He's 2 years older than me, so I'm 54, so he'd be 56.
56, okay, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, the 26th of July is when he was born.
Now, if he may well not know he was adopted.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is the problem. So the whole thing is to try and match the name up with the date of birth, obviously, you know.
Yeah, so the date of birth around 26th of July 1965, he may not be using his birth name either. That's a possibility, isn't it?
That is a possibility. So, like I said, it's a big outreach. Now, my name is Kevin Anthony Mcmanum, and I'm kind of hoping she kept the name, obviously Anthony, in the two names, Martin Anthony Mcmanum, even the first name. But like you said, he could be adopted. He mightn't even know he's adopted. But I'm hoping somebody maybe in Donegal, around Glencar or someone might be able to put two and two together, you know.
His mother also is your mum, Philomena, as you mentioned, also known perhaps better as Phyllis Mcmanum.
Yes.
And she lived in Letterkenny as well.
She did. She was, I think it was Glencar she was in. She was in Hillcrest House nursing home for a while then before she died, you know.
And can I ask how you come to find out that you had a long lost brother?
Well, it's a very long story. Basically, I had a social worker in the north help me at the start to find my mother's name, and that was a big help. And then from there, I ended up with a social worker in the south, then helped me. And as she was helping me, she came across, she said, "Did your mother have another sibling?" I said, "I couldn't tell you." She said, "Well, when I was tracing her name, we came across her exact signature with another sibling. And that was the first I've ever heard of it or came across it, you know."
How did that make you feel?
Great. Delighted to know there might be somebody else out there.
Sorry, Anthony, I might jump the gun a little bit. Up until now, did you know that up until, would Martin Mcmanum, as he is on his birth cert, is he your only sibling that you have learned about since you started this journey?
Yes. When I started tracing my mother's family, all her brothers and sisters, she had 4 sisters and a brother, and they were all passed away. And I've spoken to some of my cousins, which was nice to meet them, but they were kind of in awe, as if, I don't believe this, you know what I mean? They were nearly shocked as much as I was, you know?
Yeah, of course, someone just coming out of the blue being a close relation. Why wouldn't you be shocked?
Yeah, especially when they never knew they existed, you know, or anything. So here we are now, and basically to find out that there's a sibling out there is fantastic, you know.
Did you ever get a sense that part of this story was missing and this makes sense? Or I don't know if you sort of subscribe to that.
Yeah, you kind of do. There is a bit of that as well, actually, as you go through your life, you know. It's just different things that happen that, you know, funny things, and you look back and say, what the hell happened there, you know? Or what was that about?
You could have been sitting in the same pub as him at one point or other. You just never know with these things. I'm not saying that's what you're talking to, but we're a small country. You just don't know.
You don't know. There was a mad situation in a local town here where I am near Drogheda, where a girl in the flower shop came out to me one day and gave me a kiss. And then she says, "Oh, sorry," she says, "you're not, I thought you were my boyfriend." And I shook my head as if to say, "Here's the one trying it on," or something, you know. Don't want to sound so vain, but, you know, then...
I was going to say, you must be a handsome man, Anthony. It doesn't happen too often.
No. And then I'm thinking back, maybe there is somebody else out there that looks like me, and this has gone through my head.
It's not impossible.
With different situations. And then it's kind of saying to me, you know, maybe the person has been adopted and he's more local than I think, you know?
Yeah, that's quite true.
So,
because you don't have any idea where this man is. It's just by happen chance that he might have settled up here. Really, you're casting a wide net. He could be anywhere.
Exactly. I'm casting a wide net, but I cast a wide net the last time now, and I got a lot of places, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
Like, there's not a whole lot of Mcmanums in Ireland, and most of them are in Donegal, which was a fair assumption.
Right, so he was born around the 26th of July. His name on the birth cert was Martin Mcmanum. He'd be a couple of years older than you. He was adopted from Navan Road in County Dublin. He may not know he's adopted. We just simply don't know that. He may know he's adopted. He may be listening to this and wants nothing to do with you. That's also not to do with you on a personal level, but you never know the way people's lives move on. So there's lots of variables out there. Or he could be listening, and this could change both of your lives forever. That's just the way things go. His mum's Philomena. His birth mum, known locally as Phyllis, and she lived in Letterkenny. And her father was Cornelius. In terms of finding out more about your mum, did you get any answers that you needed answered? Like, especially maybe speaking to the extended family. Her immediate family had also passed, so maybe those that she may have confided in had taken those secrets with them. But did you learn anything to fill in the gaps for you, Anthony?
No, I haven't even a photograph of her. Basically, I think the shock on their faces that I even existed said it all, you know?
Yeah.
You just, like I say, you're kind of left with more questions than answers. Like, you're kind of hoping that, as you said yourself, like, it's different times back in the 60s in Ireland where people didn't want family secrets being heard and things like that.
Everything was, well, not everything, but often everything was kept on the QT.
Of course it was.
That's how we dealt with things behind closed doors, curtains closed.
Yes, and I did get a couple of phone calls the last time as well from a couple of people that sounded like social workers saying that why would you want to be looking for your family? Why wouldn't you leave Ireland alone and all of this as well?
Well, there is that. There is an element of that in you trying to seek your answers. It can disrupt other people's lives. I get that. But maybe that's a failure of our record keeping and the information we give people and checks and balances and all of that. I mean, you have to, you've got your life to live out as well. So I think a lot of people understand. Right, okay. Well, we'll see what comes from it, if anything comes in. Anthony, just out of curiosity, do you like, when you got speaking to your cousins, does it bother you? Like, did you ask about medical history and stuff? Because for those who are adopted, you know, you don't know if cancer is prevalent in a family or if heart disease is or anything else. Were you able to sort of, does that even be in your mind? Do you ask those questions?
Yes, it did. And it turns out that one of them that I'm in touch with is actually a doctor, and he's a very nice guy. And thank God there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
In that respect, you know, like, that was one of the things years ago as you're going to your own doctor, and he was saying to you, the first question they say to you is there any history, family history? And you're looking up to heaven as if to say, what do you say? Do you know what I mean? So it's been tough with things like that, but now it's good to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sure. Listen, it's out there now, Anthony. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. Maybe this could just be the best thing ever for you and your for your brother. Or
do you want me to leave a contact detail?
We'll do that off air, Anthony. Caroline will get that off you, and we'll retain that. And if anyone contacts us, Caroline knows the procedure to be gone through there. And I wish you the best of luck with everything. Were you disappointed the last time? Because expectations can be so high, and maybe you sit there thinking, well, what about this, what about that? Or had you prepared yourself for the fact that your mum may have passed on and maybe all the answers that you were looking for weren't going to be there? What was your emotion?
You don't know what to expect. You kind of keep the emotion out of it, because even if you find somebody and you meet somebody, you're meeting a complete stranger for the first time.
Yes.
Especially as well, you're disappointed when you find out that somebody's passed away, and then the family have passed away, and it's like everybody has moved on and forgotten about you. But then when you figure out they don't realise you haven't even existed, they didn't even know you existed, there's a lot of secrets in this country we need to sort out, a lot of things need to be clearer for a lot of people,
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot of questions that are not being answered even still, and I don't know for what reason at this point,
Well, I think a lot of us could sort of speculate on that, but we'll do that another time. Anthony, listen, best of luck with everything.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Take care of yourself. No problem. It's okay. Anthony there, looking for his long-lost brother. His birth name, Martin Mcmanum, born around the 26th of July, 1965. He was adopted from Navan Road in County Dublin. His mum, he shares the mum with Anthony, Kevin Anthony, Phyllis Mcmanum, Philomena, she was also known as. Her dad was Cornelius. And her brothers and sisters, sadly, are deceased. And all Anthony has at this stage is a birth cert. Now, he was on with us a couple of years ago. He found out about his mum and made connections with his cousins. But, of course, now, very recently, he found out that he has a long-lost brother that neither of them, I would imagine, knows about the other. Right, okay.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Get your tyres ready for winter. Call in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Buy a ticket. Buy a ticket in Highland Radio's mega draw to win a car. Get your ticket by November 30th and automatically enter an extra draw before the big draw. Big draw. One lucky winner will walk away with €2,000. Imagine, that's Christmas all wrapped up. Christmas sorted. The draw will take place on Wednesday, December 1st on the 9 till noon show. 9 till noon. And you're still in with a chance to win the Kia X-Ceed worth over €28,000. 28 grand.
It's that simple to win that car.
To get your ticket, log on to highlandradio.com.
Highland Radio, exceeding your expectations.
Ooh. The tall apple tree in Jim's garden had brought him years of joy. It had been a goalpost, a shading spot and a hiding place.
A little pruning and it'll come back stronger than ever. It's gone a bit wild. Just a few of these taller branches and we're done.
Always ask yourself the question when cutting back trees or hedges.
Are you sure it's safe?
Stay safe. Stay clear of electricity wires. For emergencies, call 1-800-372-999. ESB Networks, serving all electricity customers.
McGinley Furniture's new showroom in Letterkenny now has more of everything. More suites, beds, dining room and occasional furniture. Also more rugs, mirrors and lamps. All available for immediate delivery. And with extra space, there's also more new stock on display. For a beautiful addition to your home, there's more than ever to choose from at McGinley's Furniture on the Joe Boner Link Road, Letterkenny, and at mcginleysfurniture.com.
Beat the cost of Brexit and no customs charges. Do you need a UK address? For your limited company or personal use, Space Hub in Derry can provide you with your own virtual office or mailbox. Have your post and parcels delivered to Space Hub and collect at your convenience. Also brand new 20-foot shipping containers now in stock. Ideal for all your storage needs at our Springtown and Coolmore depots. Find us on Facebook or spacehubderry.com or call 04871 878077 for details.
Highland Radio weather updates with National Fuels Letterkenny. For a keen price on your home heating oil, call National Fuels on 9137 400.
Feeling fresh and cold this morning. It'll be dry with a good deal of cloud and limited sunny spells. Highest temperatures of 6 to 9 degrees. Later, it'll be dry to begin with tonight. Clear spells, though rain will develop overnight and spread across the region by dawn. Cold with low temperatures of -1 to +4 degrees. And it's towards the end of the week that we might see some wintry showers over the northwest. But in good news, I suppose, for those out and about driving and trying to heat the house. The temperatures will increase as we head into next week again, be back to more seasonal temperatures. Right, okay. I just want to give you an opportunity to enter our mega car draw. Well, you have the opportunity. I don't need to give it to you, but I want to give you the advice that if you do it within the next week, you have a chance to win $2,000 in cash. If you're going to enter anyway, if you enter in the next week, you're in for the draw for €2,000 in cash. You have to buy your tickets by the 30th of November, and then we'll draw out on the 1st of December someone winning $2,000 in cash. Wouldn't that be nice? Right, so the tickets are available now on our website. Go to highlandradio.com. There's a wee link there. You'll see it of a car. It's a beautiful car in association with our friends at iMotors, and it's the Kia Exceed. It's a petrol yoke in white. Comes with all the extras you'd expect from a Kia. They've been leading the way in terms of, lane assist and all that crap for a long time. It's worth almost $30,000, that car. So you can win the cash. Your name goes back in the hat, then you win the car. You can go onto the website, as I mentioned, get your tickets, win the car icon, and your tickets will cost a maximum of €10. The more you buy, the less they get. €10 each, just for one, or you can purchase 6 for $50 or 10 for $80. So you get 2 free if you buy 10. Well, you don't get 2. Yeah, you do get 2 free if you buy 10. You get 1 free if you buy 5. And you can win. You can name them, by the way, for people in your family as gifts or whatever. A lot of people like to give that kind of stuff as presents. Or you can keep it. That's what I would do. I would buy all the tickets and keep it myself. That's on the cash as well, but I can't enter. So enter between now and the 30th. You can win $2,000 in cash at the start of December, or you could be in with a chance of winning that car. And I strongly suspect there'll be more goodies added to that prize pot as we edge ever closer. Right, okay, so good luck if you're entering that. And of course, we hope you are winners. All of you can't be winners, but one of you certainly will be a winner. Right, it is the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. Lots to come in the programme after 10. On Goddess Yukana in studio with the latest appeals and information, and much more besides. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned. The news and the obituary notices are coming right up.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Get your tyres winter ready. Drop in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Christmas is a time for coming together as a family, a community and a country. This year, Aware is inviting you to come together virtually to help fund our vital services supporting people impacted by depression and bipolar disorder. From December 10th to 12th, show your support by walking or running your way in the Aware Christmas 5K. You can join in wherever you are in the country, from Dingle to Donegal. Please sign up today at aware.ie and help make a real difference this Christmas. Proudly supported by Cadbury.
Zero. It gets a bad rep. Like when people say they have zero interest in something. Well, if you're thinking of buying an electric car this year, you'll find this interesting, because at Nissan we see the power of zero. Introducing the Nissan Leaf Power of Zero offer. Buy a brand new 100% electric zero emissions Nissan Leaf and get 1 year's free servicing, a free home charger, the lowest electric finance offer on the market, and great savings on running costs. Now that's the power of zero. Find out more at nissan.ie.
If you're tired and struggling to put a spring in your step due to COVID burnout, discover the power of Revive Active at your local Brennan's Pharmacy. Revive Active is an award-winning super supplement containing 26 active ingredients, including vitamin C, D and zinc, which support your immune system, all in one handy daily sachet. Made for busy, stressful lives, it's the convenient way to put back what life takes out. Enrich your life with Revive Active. In-store or online, click and collect from brennanspharmacy.com. We're here for you.
Patterson's Black Friday sale is now on with fantastic discounts across all departments. Appliances, beds, mattresses, dining table and chairs, suites, furniture and giftware. Come visit their massive sleep centre on the first floor. Christmas decorations and gifts now on display. Patterson's Black Friday sale is now on at the Hall Lifford.
The Northwest Virtual Jobs Fair will be held on Wednesday, 24th of November from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This event is hosted by Eures Cross-Border Partnership, Department for Social Protection and Department for Communities. This event provides an opportunity to learn about the companies and see what vacancies are on offer. Job vacancies can be applied for by uploading your CV on the day. To register for this event, log on to www.crossborderjobfair.com.
All
your hopes, all your dreams, all your ambition, all your hard work, all your goals and determination, all your late nights and coffee breaks, all lead you to one place, Allstate, where career opportunities are endless. Have it all at Allstate. Search allstateni.com today.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the Highland Radio News Desk. The Transport Minister says the planned Cabinet memo on subsidising the cost of antigen tests has been delayed because more detail is needed. Health Minister Stephen Donnelly was due to bring proposals to his government colleagues this morning. The subsidised tests will be available in pharmacies, with the government rebating a portion of the cost to reduce the price of an antigen test to €2 or €3. Minister Eamon Ryan says they need to find the right approach.
It needs more detail. It needs more precision, and we prefer to give it time and get it right. But there are 500,000 tests have gone out there. People are using them, and the critical thing is they use them the right way.
Well, Professor of Experimental Immunology at Trinity College, Dublin, Kingston Mills, says antigen tests should be as cheap as possible.
If someone has a large family and they're going to test the whole lot of them a couple of times a week, it's a significant expense. So I think they should be, my personal view is they should be around €1, but not making them free. But I think a €1 charge or thereabouts would be appropriate. But €4 sounds a bit high to me.
There are calls on the HSE to reinstate the pop-up COVID-19 testing facility in Inishowen as a matter of urgency. It comes as latest figures show the COVID incidence rate in North Inishowen is the second highest nationwide and the highest in Donegal. The walk-in testing centre on the peninsula ceased operations at the end of September, with people having to go to Letterkenny to get PCR tests. Local councillor Martin McDermott says in a lot of cases this simply isn't feasible and the facility is needed.
It's very, very difficult for a lot of families, especially families that have people, mothers and fathers out working, that have to take time off work to go to Letterkenny. That the test centre here in Inishowen, the pop-up test centre it worked extremely well when it was here, and I think with the numbers that the way they are at the minute, I think it's vitally important that pop-up test centre is brought back here to Inishowen, even for a period of time, to alleviate the situation that we're in at the minute.
It's been confirmed that the Technological University in the West and Northwest will be called the Atlantic Technological University. It'll include Letterkenny IT, Sligo IT and Galway Mayo IT. In a statement this morning, Minister Simon Harris said Atlantic conveys power, strength, inspiration, creation, vast horizons, a distinctive geography, rich history and shared heritage. There are new calls for special attention to be paid to Letterkenny University Hospital in a bid to tackle overcrowding and cancellations. It comes as North West Sinn Féin TDs met with the executive management team of the South Hospital Group yesterday to discuss issues affecting the system. Donegal Deputy Patrick McLaughlin is warning that Letterkenny University Hospital is under severe pressure and strain from both COVID and non-COVID care. He says Letterkenny is currently top of the table for the wrong reasons, and it's time for government intervention.
We need a special attention being paid to Donegal. Letterkenny Hospital, has repeatedly been at the top of the table when it comes to the amount of people on trolleys that can't get into proper beds and wards. Of course, then the other side of that is the pressure, unbelievable pressure on our healthcare workers. So we've had those meetings now with the Letterkenny Hospital management, with the Sale to Hospital Group management, and we are very clear on what the issues are. And we know now what the government needs to do, and they need to step up here.
The Garda Representative Association says the number of attacks on Gardaí has risen significantly in recent years. The organisation, which is holding its annual conference in Kerry, wants mandatory sentences introduced for those convicted of assaulting officers. The Vice President of the GRA, Donegal-based Brendan O'Connor, says it's having an impact on the number of Gardaí available for duty.
There's been an upward trend in assaults on guards for the last number of years, so we're seeing huge exponential rises. So what that is meaning is that more members are suffering the trauma of it, or the physical injuries, and there's an abstraction rate because people are not parading for duty because they're off with injuries. So it's impacting on a very personal level on our members, and then it's also impacting organisationally.
Feeling fresh and cold this morning, dry though, with a good deal of cloud and limited sunny spells. Highest temperatures today 6 to 9 degrees Celsius in light southwest winds. Tomorrow dry to begin with clear spells, rain developing in the west of the region and spreading across most of the region by dawn. Cold with lowest overnight temperatures -1 to +4 degrees Celsius. Coldest in southern parts, rain clearing through tomorrow morning with scattered showers and sunshine following. Showers very frequent, though the odd shower will be heavy with a chance of isolated hail. Highest temperatures tomorrow 6 to 8 in moderate southwest winds. That's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 11 o'clock. Good morning.
The obituary notices for Tuesday morning, the 23rd of November. The death has occurred of Tony Crearand, formerly of Muckish Avenue. His remains will be reposing at the Letterkenny Funeral Home, Port Road, from 6 until 9 o'clock this evening. Funeral Mass tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in St Eunan's Cathedral, Letterkenny, with cremation to follow in Lakelands Crematorium, Cavan at a later date. Family flowers only, donations if desired to the Donegal Hospice, care of any family member or Con McDade Funeral Director. The funeral mass can be viewed live on churchservices.tv/Letterkenny. The death has occurred of Mary Ellen Byrne, Corfrin, Ballybuffet. Her remains are reposing at McCool's Chapel of Rest today, with visiting time from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Funeral leaving there tomorrow morning at 10:30 for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock in St Mary's Church, Shesha O'Neill. Interment afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. The funeral mass will be streamed live via the parish webcam. Wake, funeral and burial will be private to family, neighbours and close friends only. The death has taken place of Freddie Duncan, Castlethird, Carrigans. His remains are reposing at his home. Removal from there tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 for 2 o'clock funeral service in Monrea Presbyterian Church, followed by burial in the family plot in the adjoining graveyard. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu in aid of Monrea National School, care of any family member or Terence McClintock, Funeral Director. The death has taken place of Sheila Meehan, Ard Erin Moville. Sheila's remains are reposing at her home. Funeral from there this morning at 10:30 for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass in St Pius X Church, Moville, followed by burial in Ballybrack Cemetery. Family flowers only, donations if desired to St Vincent de Paul, care of any family member. The funeral mass can be viewed live on movilleparish.com. The death has occurred of John Gormley, Mullintee Boyle Glanties and formerly of Ballinamore, County Leitrim. His remains are reposing at St Connell's Church in Glanties. The house is private. Funeral mass this morning at 11 o'clock with burial afterwards in the local cemetery. The funeral mass can be viewed live on churchservices.tv/Glanties. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if desired to Killybegs Community Hospital, care of James McGuinness, Funeral Directors, Glanties or any family member. And the death has occurred of Marie Doherty, Neil Lynch, Linsfort, Buncrana. Her remains are reposing at her late residence. Funeral from there this morning at 11:15, going to the Star of the Sea Church, Desert Agni, for funeral mass at 12 noon. Interment afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live via the parish webcam. Family flowers only please, donations if desired to the Dialysis Renal Unit, Altnagalvin Hospital, care of Derek McCabe, Funeral Director or any family member. For more details, including any family health guidelines for wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Black Tag sale now on at Curry's BC World. Save a massive €400 on the LG 48-inch Smart 4K OLED TV, now $1,149. Save €150 on the energy-efficient Samsung EcoBubble 9kg washing machine for just $449. And get a 14-inch Asus laptop with 128 gigs of storage and up to 12 hours battery life, now just $279. Save €80. Get in store or online at currys.ie.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
See, the government's just announced the name chosen by the Institutes of Galway Mayo, Sligo and Letterkenny Institute for Technology. They are coming together and they're going to open their doors officially as a combined university on April the 1st, 2022. That is no joke. And the name that they have chosen is, wait for it, Atlantic Technological University. Atlantic Technological University, so the ATU, perhaps it might be known as. It'll open its doors officially next April the 1st, 2022. LYIT will cease to exist under its name, of course. I presume that's the way it works, isn't it? It'll be the Letterkenny campus, maybe, of the Atlantic Technological University. Okay, and that was agreed. External companies, internal stakeholders, students and what have you, they come up with that Atlantic Technological University. All right. Maybe the hospital wouldn't be so busy if it hadn't shut down an 11-bed ward for refurbishment, something that could be done anytime. Mismanagement on an industrial scale at the heart of all of this country's health and social problems. I think, when you close down a ward with 11 beds in it, you don't send the staff home and say, look, listen, we're doing a bit of refurb work here. You can take 6 weeks off. Those staff would be deployed elsewhere and working on beds, I'm sure. Just wondering, Greg, are you the king or the servant? I don't know where I am on that Italian scale of people. This is a man who was in court, I believe, yesterday on driving charges. I had my way. He'd be deported back to Italy on grounds insulting the Irish state and our people. What a cheeky brass neck. He's anti-vax, this person says. He didn't mention his name and gave him a platform to promote his own importance. That comes in from Patrick in Donnelly. Well, of course, he, I believe, subscribes to common law, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I believe he tried to serve papers on the judge who refused them. He's back up on December 13th, as I say, as it relates to alleged driving charges, as far as I'm aware. I mean, we are in the EU, so I don't think you deport people back from within its borders as such, but I take your point. I got someone to order to send me DNA ancestry tests from the UK to trace biological father and mother. I put her partner's name on my birth cert. Will it get me help using the test? Has anyone had any luck with the tests? A caller says, I use this when searching for my mother's family. We did find people, but they have to be in the system and searching for a connection to be made. Yes, so obviously, if you use one of these DNA tests, you can find out a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your bloodline, that kind of stuff. But you can log your details that you're interested in connecting with someone else. So you'd need another group of people, your family, to also have done the same, and then they can connect you that way. It can be. I mean, it's long odds, but anyway, I'll be doing one of these on air a little later on. It's an antigen test. For those of you watching on Facebook, YouTube, you can see it there. Someone's joining us to tell us how to do these correctly. Hold them the right way up to the camera, I suppose. So I'm going to be shoving one of those up my nose later. Hopefully I'm not positive. I'm not symptomatic of anything, so who's to say? But being a hypochondriac, I think probably in my mind I can skew the results, who's to say? But anyway, we're going to be doing that a little bit later on because apparently if you don't do them right, there's no point doing them at all. If you don't want to do them, if you're not interested in any of that stuff, it's going to be of no interest to you at all because you'll never take one. Many years ago, they were hidden. Things were hidden, and it was such a different time, says this caller. I got a call from a man who turned out to be my brother. My mother had him while she wasn't married. She gave him up for adoption. He found us, but he had a lot of issues, understandable. He felt disowned. So there isn't always a happy ending or a happy ever after to these stories, not to mention the huge shock of discovering he exists. It's a huge upheaval, finding out they exist. Just because someone is your blood relative, it doesn't mean they're the same as you or you'd get on with them. Then there's pressure maybe to do so. And then, as you say, in that situation, someone can have their own incidences. A caller says, COVID figures in Letterkenny, not surprising since there are large gatherings like the matches, hardly any of them wearing masks, but they're outside. We're being told that's okay. If it's not okay, don't let us do it then. Do you know what I mean? There's no point opening up a pub and then going into the pub and then being told off that you shouldn't go into that pub. Well, don't open it then. And I don't mean I want pubs closed before someone says that. But, everything seems to come back to us. It's our fault. It's our responsibility. We are doing everything we can. We've been doing everything we can. Okay? It's not our fault that the booster program is slow rolling out. It's not our fault that antigen testing they can't make. I mean, no harm to Well, let me listen to this. And this is not a personal attack, all right? But this is Eamon Ryan being asked about antigen tests. Just listen to how the sentence is structured and what's actually said.
It needs more detail. It needs more precision, and we prefer to give it time and get it right. But there are 500,000 tests have gone out there. People are using them, and critical thing is they use them the right way.
It's just a lump of words. We need more time. We need more precision. You know what I mean? What does that even mean? You know, he must have known that question was coming. Anyway, right, we'll be back with the Community Garda slot after the bingo numbers and a quick break. Good luck if you're paying today.
It's time for Ncbi Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Tuesday, the 23rd of November. You're playing on the brown sheet. The reference number is S12. It's game number 47. The numbers are 7, 14, 77, 86, 30, 72, 9, 18, 2, and finally 66. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your NCBI Bingo information at highlandradio.com. Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Get your tyres ready for winter. Call in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Buy a ticket in Highland Radio's mega draw to win a car. Get your ticket by November 30th and automatically enter an extra draw before the big draw. Big draw. One lucky winner will walk away with €2,000. Imagine, that's Christmas all wrapped up. Christmas sorted. The draw will take place on Wednesday, December 1st on the 9 till noon show. 9 till noon. And you're still in with a chance to win the Kia X-Ceed worth over €28,000. 28 grand.
It's that simple to win that car.
To get your ticket, log on to highlandradio.com. Highland Radio, exceeding your expectations.
Ooh.
For Black Friday weekend, there's great savings at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny with 20% of Lancôme skincare, 20% off Inglot, and 25% off CeraVe, La Roche-Posay, and Vichy skincare. Special offers on Clarins, Be Perfect, Sosu, and more. Great discounts on fragrances by Calvin Klein, Hugo Boss, and many more top names. That's from Thursday the 25th until Sunday the 28th at McGee's Chemist, in store and online at mcgees.ie. Stock already discounted and gift sets are excluded from Black Friday offers.
There are those who fear change, those who welcome change, and those who drive change. At Nissan, we've always believed in driving change. Now, the all-new Nissan Qashqai is here. With the style and tech you want and the power you need, it's the future-proof family car. So, are you ready for change? The all-new Nissan Qashqai, electrified with mild hybrid power. Book a test drive today at nissan.ie. Nissan. Innovation that excites.
For fantastic Black Friday deals, visit Rossview Interiors Letterkenny, where there's amazing savings on a large range of sofas, in stock and ready for delivery before Christmas. There's also huge savings on bedroom and occasional furniture, dining sets and Hollywood mirrors with dressing tables, the perfect Christmas gift. That's right now at Rossview Interiors, the home of better deals, at Rossview Business Park, Letterkenny, just off the Polestar roundabout. See rossviewinteriors.com.
Wet n Wild, your local family business, is fully stocked with great deals on waterproof jackets, pants, dry robes, gloves, hats, boots, trainers, merino socks and base layers for men, ladies and kids. Stay warm, dry and safe this winter with quality that will last many's a Donegal winter. With a visit to Wet n Wild.
Christmas is well underway at Letterkenny Shopping Centre. Park for free and get everything you need. Thank you for shopping with us this Christmas. Letterkenny Shopping Centre, bringing you the time at...
You're very welcome back to the programme at 20 minutes past 10. It is Tuesday, the 24th of November, and it's just after 10 o'clock, so that means it is time for the Community Garda slot. And we welcome into the studio with us today, Garda Grania Doherty. Great to have you with us, Grania. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Right, OK, we'll get straight into it then, because you're looking for information or assistance from the public as it relates to car thefts from cars in Muff.
Yeah, and we posted actually to our Facebook page during the week in relation to this also. So this happened in the early hours of Thursday, the 18th of November. Approximately between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m, a number of cars were unlawfully entered in the Ardban estate in Muff. Property was stolen from some of them, so we're appealing to anybody who may have witnessed any suspicious activity in that area, particularly other residents in the area, to contact Gardaí in Buncrana on 9320540. We're particularly interested in any sightings of a dark coloured Peugeot, possibly a dark grey, black coloured Peugeot that may have been in the area that night. If anybody believes they may have captured this vehicle on dashcam footage, it would be most helpful to us if they could come forward. The Garda Confidential line also may be reached on 1800 666 111. Just a bit of advice also, and look, we've spoken about this before, but particularly now in the run up to Christmas with people doing a lot of shopping, and parking in public areas, but also parking at their home, you have to be so careful. We want to remind everybody to ensure that your car is locked, secured at all times, whether that's parked in the driveway of your house or in a retail park in town. Regardless of where it's parked, ensure it's locked at all times when unattended. Don't leave anything valuable in your car: cash, jewellery, electronics.
Or, maybe someone's celebrating a birthday or something around about Christmas, and they might see the boot as a safe place to hide something.
They might, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, some people will do it, and these criminals know they do it.
They do, surely, yeah. But look, they're not silly. They know the usual hiding places and the handbag and under the seat. The hiding places that people usually use. But you just don't know who's watching when you're hiding items in your car. So our advice is don't leave these items in the car to start with. Handbags on seats is a common enough occurrence. Handbags thrown on the passenger seat and someone runs into a shop. Don't leave anything valuable within sight in the car or in the car at all. So with the Christmas shopping's in full swing, so anybody who is out buying, particularly if they have an expensive item in mind that they want to buy, we would advise them to leave that purchase until the last stop of their journey, so that they don't have to leave it unattended while they finish their shopping. If anybody does see anybody, while they're out shopping or even in their own estate or area, if they see anybody who's acting suspiciously, looking in windows of cars, trying car doors, contact Gardaí immediately and alert us. The four district headquarters are open 24/7: Letterkenny, Milford, Buncrana and Ballyshannon. And I can give you those numbers. It's 9167 100 for Letterkenny. Milford is 9153 Buncrana 932 0540, and Ballyshannon is 071 985 8530.
Okay. Now, criminal damage being investigated in Lifford.
Yeah, this happened at the Diamond in Lifford. This happened on Friday the 19th of November, so this was shortly before 7:10 p.m. 4 youths were captured on CCTV footage, and we're following that up. We're going to view footage from other premises also. So these youths were in dark clothing. They were in the Diamond area. One of them threw an object through a window of one of the buildings just across from the old courthouse there in Lifford. The window was smashed and they took off running then on foot towards Lifford Bridge. So anybody that was in that area, 4 youths in dark clothing, if they seen these youths, if they caught them again on dashcam footage, we'd like to hear from them in Letterkenny on 9167 100.
And Gardaí in Letterkenny investigating criminal damage in the Ashland area.
Yeah, another incident of criminal damage. So this happened on Friday the 19th of November, again between 5 p.m. and 5:15 p.m. for a very short time period there. A window at the side of a house was smashed between those times. Now, there were reports that a gang of youths had been seen in the area. Not that we can say one way or another that they had anything to do with this, but if anybody observed the incident happened, if they seen anybody hanging about in that general area between those times, we would like to hear from them in Letterkenny on 9167 100.
Now, an incident at Ulster Tires too.
Another criminal damage incident there at Mcmanum Terrace, Letterkenny. This happened on the 16th of November, Tuesday at 9:10 p.m. We are appealing to anybody who was in that area around that time. It's a very specific time, 9:10 p.m. The bang was actually heard and reported immediately to Gardaí, so that was the time that it happened. So if anybody's seen any activity in that area that might assist us with our inquiries, we would like to hear from them in Letterkenny on 9167 100.
All right, next we'll go across to Carrick, an investigation in that area.
Yeah, Ballyshannon Gardaí are appealing for information in relation to a criminal damage incident again. This happened at a house on the Bugger Road in Carrick on Sunday the 21st of November. This happened between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. So significant damage was caused to the front wall of this house by a blue saloon-style car, between those times, and 2 males were believed to have been on board the car. It travelled in the direction of Carrick Village following the incident. So we're appealing really to anybody who may have been on the Bugger Road to Carrick between those times, between 1 and 2 p.m, who may have observed this car. It would have had damage caused to it also. If they may have captured it on their dash cam footage, if they could contact Gardaí in Ballyshannon on 071 985 8530.
No, the Be Winter Ready campaign was launched back in November 17th at I suppose appropriate timing too, with the way things are going. Tell us about the campaign and what we can learn from it.
Yeah, and we have information on our Garda Síochána Donegal Facebook page in relation to this also, but it was launched on November 17th. This campaign is now in its 11th year, so it's intended to raise awareness about the challenges that winter can present and where people can seek support and help, in response to those challenges. The campaign provides practical advice on how best to prepare for winter. It ensures the public are aware of where they can find the appropriate help and advice. Advice is there from a wide number of sources, including us in Garda Síochána, the HSE, government departments, local authorities, the Office of Public Works and transport providers. So this year's campaign is focused on staying safe on the farm over winter, and they have devised a campaign leaflet on farm safety. So that leaflet and all of the Be Winter Ready literature may be viewed on the website www.winterready.ie. We also have information on our own Facebook page, and we have a link available there that you can download the Be Winter Ready booklet from.
Okay, excellent stuff. Now, a crime prevention webinar is taking place tomorrow, I think.
It is, yeah. So we hope to have details up on our own Facebook page later today. The link, that people can join into this event.
You have a Facebook page, do you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Garda
been aware.
Síochána Donegal Facebook page.
A big fan, are you?
I've mentioned it a number of times already, have I?
Gonna have to get the sales team down soon.
I'm not doing a great advertisement campaign today for it altogether. So this has actually been run, it's been supported by the Joint Policing Committee in Galway City. But it's open to everybody and it's free of charge. And there's very, topics that would be beneficial to everybody, really, if anybody wants to join in. It's online, free of charge. It's happening on the 24th of November, tomorrow, between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. The topics that will be covered are home security, cybercrime, domestic abuse and road safety. There'll be a number of speakers on there and a lot of valuable information for our people if they wish to join in.
Yeah, and sometimes, it can be hard to source that yourself. Is it there? Is it here? This is a webinar where I think home security will be very useful. We mentioned a lot of that, but they have more time to get into the ins and outs of it as well. As you mentioned, cybercrime, and we'll have a quick word on that too, I presume, before we finish. Domestic abuse, which we had a big focus on last week and continue to as well, and road safety. It starts at 10 a.m, runs to 1 p.m, so it's not overly long, but there's going to be a lot in there.
There is, yeah.
Right.
And could be of benefit to many people. We'd advise as many as possible to take part.
And you can get a link to the webinar posted on the Garda Síochána Donegal Facebook page. Lots of information goes up on there. I only messed a little earlier on, but it's handy to get those links that we've just talked of. So you can get the link to the webinar, and you can also get the link to that winterready.ie, the literature that's available there. So hop on to it. You don't have to actually be on Facebook either, by the way. Just search in Gardaí Donegal Facebook and the page will come up for you. Right, scams, just a quick word on those.
Scams, and I know, look, we're blue in the face talking about scams, but I just wanted to mention in particular today, I was actually scammed last night myself, so I just wanted to, I went home last night and I checked my banking online and 3 transactions had come out of my account late yesterday evening, from a site I'd never heard of. It was the same site, the 3 transactions, never heard of this site before, so I contacted the emergency line for my bank, reported the matter to them. Now, I hadn't clicked on any links. I know we're always saying, don't click on links, don't, and that is the advice that we do still give. But I hadn't clicked on any links. I hadn't received any emails, text messages that were in any way odd to me, and I hadn't inputted any details. So just wanted to make people aware, just to keep an eye on their online banking. It's important to keep an eye on your account and check the transactions regularly that are taking place there. There may be many people out there don't look at it from one end of the year to the next. They're online banking.
Scared to look.
Yeah.
For fear of all the money being gone, but not by people stealing it. This sounds very similar to a call we had from a person in the west of the county too, that there was just transactions coming out of their account, very late in the evening. They only discovered it in the morning. Thankfully, they got refunded, but still, the fact they were able to spot it very early on helped. Yeah,
and we're getting a lot of, you wouldn't believe the amount of reports of this type of fraud that we're receiving at the moment. And similar to that, people, the money's been taken from their account.
Any idea how they may be accessing? I know it's kind of personal, and it doesn't talk to all of the instances we talk of, but have you any theory as to how they could have got your info? Or
I don't, to be honest, no, because my card has been with me at all times.
Yeah.
You know, nobody would have had any access to the card, so possibly just maybe some website that I have used is the only thing that I can think of. Some website I have used of late that maybe my details were taken then from that. But and just also another, and I know everybody's sick hearing about us talking about this, but we would like to ask people to please do not click on links, especially the bank type messages that are coming out at the moment. The amount of people that are falling victim to this is, it's worrying. Losing thousands of euro, clicking the link, and I know it does. Most of these messages appear under your genuine banking thread, and possibly that's where people are falling victim to it. They think it's genuine.
That has been the big problem with this, because say you're with AIB, for example, you get all your notifications for AIB, and then lo and behold, there's one in that thread of messages saying something has happened. You click on it because you do it very quickly, especially if you think something's been taken from your account or something, and that's it then. And that was the real game changer for these scammers, being able to insert these scams into the legitimate text threads.
Yeah, and they instill a feeling of panic. The messages are designed that way, that something's going to happen to your account or something urgent. This needs to be dealt with urgently. People panic. It's understandable, but please do not click on any links that you receive in text messages. Your bank will never ever send you out a text message with a link requesting private information.
And a lot of people are shopping online now, and it's not just international, by the way. We're not just talking about Amazon or whatever, but a lot of people are using, local retailers. They're shopping online. So more people will be expecting a parcel, and more of these scam texts saying, we're holding your parcel, it's due out for delivery. It'll start being relevant to more people. And the scammers will make.
And can I just give you one other quick mention of one that has come to light recently? I don't know, did we mention it in recent weeks? But I just feel it's important to let people know. I know a lot of people are doing clear outs at the moment, coming up to Christmas, and they're selling bits and pieces. And we have had a few reports in recent weeks in relation to people that are selling items on various mediums online, Facebook Marketplace, Done Deal, wherever they're selling their item. They receive correspondence from somebody who's interested in buying their item. The sale of the item's agreed. They then get sent a message from this person with a link, and for all the world, I've seen the link myself, it looks for all the world to be genuine. It's an An Post link that they get back. There's a link within this message then that the seller has to click this link to input their own bank details in order to receive the payment through An Post, and it does look extremely genuine.
And they're being told that this is to protect them, by the scammers.
Of course, to do things legitimately. But of course, the minute you put your details in, your bank account's cleared, then money's taken from your account.
Right. Very quick one. Provisional licensed drivers in a small town with no L plates. No one's accompanying them, and they're driving dangerously now. That's a lot of information this person believes to know, but we presume that they do. They've been reported to Gardaí, but no one's done anything about it. Why would this not be acted upon?
This caller has already reported this matter to the guards by the sounds of things. There's no problem. Anybody at all can report road traffic matters to us, and they are most certainly followed up on. If it's a case that you see the person, you ring it into the guards and say they're at certain location at this moment in time. The guards will go out, they'll circulate the number of the car and look to see can they get this car stopped. If the car's not there at that time, they will keep the number of the car in mind for the future. They will stop the car whenever it is seen by them and demand production of documents then from them. In relation to the dangerous driving aspect, that caller would be invited to make a statement in relation to the manner of driving that they observed, because obviously the guards weren't there to witness the driving.
Yes.
It's up to the person then to come forward to make a statement of complaint to the guards, should they wish to do that, in order for us to follow up the dangerous driving aspect.
And in fairness, evidence is required, and we don't want to live in a world where we no longer need evidence. So that explains a lot of what you're saying there, I believe. Okay, contact them again. And you heard from Granny there. Listen, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Greg.
People can get more information, as I say, up on the Donegal Garda Facebook page as well. This item will be posted up there a little later on, and the item will be back on air with you after 10 next Tuesday. But for now, Gráinne, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Greg.
We'll be back with more in the 9 till noon show after these.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Are your tyres ready for winter? Call into Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Do you currently have vacancies that need urgently filled? Do you require temporary staff for the Christmas period? Have you tried various ways to find new staff but didn't succeed? Let Highland Radio help you source and fill your current vacancies in the most cost-effective way. Simply sign up to our new job spot and we will tell our 70,000 daily listeners about your vacancies. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday during our primetime shows, we will broadcast the latest job opportunities across the Northwest and into counties Derry and Tyrone. For more information, contact the advertising team on 07491 25322 or email advertising@highlandradio.com. Highland Radio, we're here for you.
The day has finally arrived. Some say the most important one of the year. Tesco's Christmas home delivery and free click and collect slots are now open to book. This Christmas, nothing's stopping us. So give yourself a little help this year and book yours today at tesco.ie. Book early. Slots will be going faster than, well, Santa's sleigh on Christmas Eve. Tesco. Every little helps.
Looking to upgrade your business with a new van but not looking to compromise? Then look no further than the Ford Transit range. From the award-winning custom plug-in hybrid to the new active Trail and Transit 5-ton. Need a new pickup? Then check out the multi-awarded Ford Ranger. And with 221 upgrade offer, save up to €6,500 and get a low-rate APR on selected models. Ford Commercial Vehicles. Search Ford.ie. Lending criteria conditions apply. Participating dealers for selected models ordered by the 31st of December and registered by the 31st of March. Business hire purchased by Bank of Ireland Leasing Limited. Trading as Ford Credit. Dealer charges may apply. Ownership remains with Ford Credit until the final payment is made. Warning, you may have to pay charges if you repay early, in full or in part, a fixed rate credit facility.
Don't miss the crazy Black Friday deals right now at Watson Hire in Letterkenny. Up to 70% off the recommended retail price on hand and power tools, paint, homeware, clothing and much more. Many are at clearance prices that won't be repeated. Loads of great present ideas now reduced. That's amazing Black Friday deals right now at Watson Hire, Kiltoy, Letterkenny. Visit watsonhire.ie or see Facebook for daily offers.
With such low prices, you've really got to hand it to Lidl this Christmas. Like a 6-pack of Miller bottles, only €9. Or why not treat yourself with our deluxe Panettone Classico for only €4.99? And our Galaxy and Malteser selection boxes get 3 for €9. Lidl, more for everyone this Christmas. Enjoy alcohol responsibly.
Okay, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. It's time for us to take a piece of music and we'll be right back after this from The Commitments. Right, there they are, the commitments. And Mustang Sally. Now, we were talking to the Blood Transfusion Board last week or the week before. Remember, they were looking very keen for people to donate, and the clinic at that time was in the Abbey in Donegal town, but there's clinics in different parts of the county now. For those of you who can't travel that far, maybe you live further away, but you also want to contribute, because as you know, they need all the blood they can get at the moment. So today, Ballybofey, Jackson's Hotel, between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. They're accepting your donations there. Back in Jackson's tomorrow between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. And in the same venue on Thursday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. and on Thursday it's 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So many of you out there do donate, and as you know, there's a high probability throughout our lives that we will require blood, or someone close to us will, so it's good, a nice thing to be able to contribute. Now, staying with health of sorts, I suppose you could say, a new obesity drug researched in Ireland has been found to cut body weight by 11%, and doctors are calling this a major breakthrough. Professor Carol LaRue joins us on the programme now, spokesperson for Irish Society for Clinical Nutrition and Metabolism, Metabolism and Obesity Specialist at St Vincent's University Hospital. Good morning to you, Professor.
Good morning.
Nice to speak to you. Right, tell us about this drug. Where's it derived from? How long has it been in research, and how does it work?
Yeah. So basically, when you and I have a meal, our gut sends a signal to the brain to feel full. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, in people who have obesity, they don't have the signal strong enough. And what this new drug can do is boost this natural signal. So what it does is it works on exactly the part of the brain that causes obesity. And this is right in the middle, the bit that makes us feel hungry, or the bit that makes us feel satisfied after a meal. So all this natural hormone will do is work on that part of the brain. And people say, this is amazing, because they just don't feel hungry, they feel satisfied, they eat the same food as they've always done and enjoy it, but they just eat less. And they say this must be what normal feels like. So it's just about treating this as a disease, and we now are developing effective tools.
And this is delivered by way of an injection. Is it around mealtime, or is it once a week, or how often would someone have to take this drug?
So the medication has been changed, and because it's a natural hormone, if you swallow it, your stomach acids will break it down. So it needs to be given under the skin as an injection once a week, but people can do that at home. And it hurts about as much as taking your nail and scratching it on your skin. So it's very easy, and we even teach children how to use this without any difficulty.
Now, say, for instance, people can use a nicotine patch, okay, and it will satisfy maybe the desire for nicotine, but it does also require it requires a bit of willpower there as well, because you can still, of course, smoke whilst you were wearing a nicotine patch. Is this drug similar in that it would require quite a buy-in from the person using it? In other words, they could continue to eat, I presume, if they, if there was that reflex to do so, even if they were no longer hungry.
Yeah. So what it does is it treats the disease of obesity, as I said, that sits in the middle part of the brain, but it does not make you more motivated, and the drug does not make you more intelligent. But if the disease is treated, then people are in control. Now, certainly, very often, if we are in a period where we're very happy or very sad, we would eat food. Now, that can remain the same, and it's also about putting in extra supports for a patient. If they, for example, find that they overeat or they comfort eat, even if they're not hungry, then we can help with psychological treatments to make that even better. But most people eat because they're hungry, and they don't stop early enough because they don't feel full. So in the vast majority of people, we don't need any extra treatments. But there's certainly a number of people where extra treatments can be very helpful.
Now, if we took in this country obesity as seriously as we should, if we treated it as a disease and funded it and committed to it, our health service like perhaps we should, this is the type of a breakthrough that the health minister may call a press conference on. But because maybe we don't see obesity as the disease it is the way we should, it potentially could slip under the radar to a lot of people. Is that an unfair assessment?
I think it's fair, but also we have to have sympathy with the government because, there's more than 1 million people in Ireland that have the disease of obesity. And therefore, starting treatment tomorrow for all of them is going to break any country's budget. So what we have to do is we start with those patients that would benefit most. And the idea now is to use these treatments to prevent people developing diabetes, or even if they have diabetes, to put that diabetes in remission, or to prevent people having heart attacks, or to prevent people having cancer. So these drugs do not make you thin, and these drugs do not make you happy. But what they will do is they will make you healthier and more functional. And that drives quality of life for people, but it also is good from a health economic point of view because the government then benefits as well.
Is it expensive? Because obviously, a lot of research goes into these drugs and it can push the price up almost prohibitively.
Absolutely. No, these drugs will be expensive when they finally hit the market, but they will be cost-effective for a small number of people. But as time goes on, all drugs become cheaper because they effectively come off patent, and therefore we are able to treat more people as time goes on. So I don't think we're going to start on day one by treating 1 million people in the country. But let's start with those that will benefit most, and then let's continue to build so we can help more people in the future.
So in terms of, how overweight a person might be, are there bands whereby, this will be most effective, that you would see the type of, 11% weight reduction? How far overweight might you have to be to benefit from this? Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. So it does not matter how heavy you are. This medication is working just as well for people who are a little bit too heavy or for people who are very heavy, because it treats the disease coming back to that point. But we will not make decisions about who gets the drug on who's the heaviest, will get the drug. We'll make the decisions on whether or not your excess fat tissue causes another disease. For example, risk of diabetes or risk of heart attacks or risk of cancer, for example. So because it's all about, reducing those complications.
Yes. Now you can have very thin people who have very poor diets and have health risks themselves as well. So presumably this would work best in conjunction with an eating plan, a healthy eating plan, to ensure that you're not just eating less of the bad stuff, but you're actually eating the right amounts of good stuff.
That is correct. But I must say that most people who have obesity, not everybody, but the majority of people already eat the right food. They just eat too much of it. So if we can allow them to eat less of the good food, and then they will actually lose the weight, have the health benefit as well. So you don't have to feel that we're going to beat you with sticks and make you eat food that you really don't enjoy.
You want people to have a buy-in on this. Yeah,
nobody can do that in the long term. But certainly we can all make better choices. And very often it's these small choices that are sustainable that have the biggest health impact.
Would you see this as, for some people at least, an alternative to a surgery, maybe a gastric band or a gastric bypass or something like that? Will some people benefit better with this? Could it be an alternative to that, or does this talk to a different cohort of people?
Yeah. There are some people that will go on to lose 20 or 25% of their weight with this medication. So some people will lose 4 or 5 stone with this drug. They are a small number of people. And, for example, if that person wanted surgery, then they may not need surgery. However, we think that these medications are going to allow people with obesity to actually come to their doctors and ask for help. So we're going to treat large numbers of people in the future. And of course, there will be about 1 in or maybe 2 in every 10 people that will take this medication that will not respond to it. So we will end up doing more surgical treatments because there'll be more people entering into the system asking for help. And by doing that, again, we'll end up making people live longer and live better.
Okay, Professor Carol Uru, thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Now, it is a new drug. It's cagrilintide. It's a taken a once weekly. It's an injection. It's not there right now for people to sort of go, right, what's that drug? I want to get on it. It's certainly, I think, something people could speak to their GPs about in the first instance. It's going to be quite expensive. But look, down the line, it might become less expensive. It will become less expensive. And who's to say in 15 years' time we might see less obesity if it were to be widely used? Dakota says, so all these years thinking you're greedy and fat when you were actually ill all the time. I'm not sure if you mean that in earnest, but it's not just simply greedy. And if you were thinking that it's just people being greedy, it might not be a fully understanding of all how the impacts of all health on different people. A caller clicked on a text message, didn't realise by clicking on it she was consenting to access to her account. When she went to pay for something, she realised her account was empty. She's been over and back with the bank and the company, but it's going nowhere because by clicking she committed and the responsibility is on her. Now, I have heard different stories of people's interactions with banks. That's very unfortunate. Stick with it, I think. There is also an ombudsman for banks. Threatened to go to them. Perhaps maybe that might help. The Blood Transfusion Board used to come to Lifford where they had 2 sessions. There was always a big crowd at both sessions. I used to give blood at every visit. Now they won't come to Lifford. I haven't given blood since. If they don't think it worth their while coming here, I'm not going to run to them. If they need blood badly, they should visit centres that were donating large quantities. I do understand that, but let me say, and I don't mean this badly, if you need a blood transfusion, they don't deliver it to your house. You have to go to hospital, and they work very, very hard to get this stuff together and to have it there available for when they need it. So I understand where you're coming from, but look, when you need it, they don't deliver that either. You have to travel for it. But I take your point, and the more places they could be, the better, I'm sure. 086 60 25,000, that's the WhatsApp line. That is the text line. I'm going to be doing one of these at 20 past, one of these for those watching, but the most of you aren't. It's a rapid SARS-CoV-2 antigen test. I'm only doing it because we're going to be told how to do them correctly, because apparently we're not doing them correctly, getting a full sense of security, or perhaps even false positives, who's to say? So I'm going to stick that up my nose at 20 past 11. If you want to watch it, and why would you? You can hop on to YouTube, Highland Radio Ireland, and watch us there. The link's on our front page there as a part of a news story, or you can watch Facebook Live, Highland Radio, or Highland Radio News and Sport. And we're going to be finding out when's the right time to use these. Antigen tests could be, really, really useful, but you can't use them when you're symptomatic, when you've got the symptoms. They don't work well in that scenario. Well, they might work well, but if they give you a negative, you could be going out spreading it, and that's the concern that Mr. Houlihan and others have on it. All right, anyway, listen, we are going to be joined by our next guest on this programme, but we do have to take a quick break.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Winter is coming. Get your tyres winter ready. Call in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Concerts are back. Join me, David James, for a Night of the Stars in concert on Thursday the 2nd of December in the Strand Hotel, Ballyliffin, featuring Robert Mazzell, Patrick Feeney, Trudy Lawler, Jim Devine and Shauna McStravick. Tickets €20, available from hotel reception or by phoning 074 937 6107. A Night of the Stars in concert Thursday the 2nd of December, the Strand Hotel, Ballyliffin.
At ESB Networks, we're connecting Ireland to a clean electric future. And as part of the National Smart Metering programme, we're now installing smart electricity meters in your area. Your new smart meter will reduce the need for estimated bills, help you to manage your electricity usage more efficiently, and enable you to access smart electricity products and services. We'll contact you before your meter is installed. Find out more at esbnetworks.ie/smartmeter.
Drop in to your local library. We're open again for books, computers, events, classes, study, or just a bit of space. One more thing, make sure you enter through the front door. A Healthy Ireland initiative supporting health and well-being from the Government of Ireland.
Candles, lanterns, Christmas trees, decorations and all types of lights. Everything you need for Christmas. Experience the magic of Christmas at Cooney's. Our biggest and best Christmas shop has outstanding value on lights and trees. There really is something for everyone at Cooney's Letterkenny Retail Park.
Connect Hearing are offering a free hearing test at the Courtyard Shopping Centre Letterkenny and Dunlow Clinic. We also offer a home visit service for test, wax removal and repairs, perfect for those who are unable to visit our centres. Are you struggling to hear the TV or radio? We have the solution. Our wireless devices can be connected to both your TV and phone. With the latest in technology coupled with a first-class repair and service facility, call us today on 074 91 13296. Connect Hearing, connecting you to life.
It's been a mad year, but every year deserves a Christmas. And at Dunnes Stores, we know Santa is still on his way. So break out Mum's signature stuffing recipe. Get some turkey carving tips from Dad. And deck the whole family out in matching festive PJs. Yes, the whole family. This year needs Christmas like never before. Make it magical with Dunnes Stores. Dunnes Stores. Make Christmas for everyone. Visit dunnesstores.com.
Highland Radio weather updates with National Fuels, delivering home heating oil to Letterkenny and the surrounding areas at competitive prices. National Fuels, 9137 400.
Radio, feeling fresh and cold today with dry weather. Good deal of cloud though, limited sunny spells, temperature 6 to 9 degrees tonight. It'll begin dry with clear spells, though rain will develop overnight. By dawn, it'll across the region. Cold with temperatures of -1 to +4 degrees. And the further south you go, the colder it is going to be. That's just the way it is. So, south of the county, into Sligo, chillier. North of the county, not so bad. Hi, Greg. Good to hear you're going to show people how to do an antigen test. Could you talk about isolation and people living in the same house as a positive case if they're in their room and someone's bringing stuff to them? Is it safe for them to slightly enter the room? Of course, mask is on. Them should be talked about and clarified a lot more from Teresa. Teresa, things have changed big in that regard. Do you remember about right at the beginning it was lock yourself in to the bedroom? I wonder, do they sort of feel that, you know, if you're in the same house, you're kind of going to get it anyway? They don't seem to say that anymore. But it's an interesting point, and you've made the point yourself there. Schools where students have missed out on so much school, teachers are away with various sports team, and no one step in to teach the remaining students while the teachers are away. Schools need to step up and give support to their leaving cert students. The students are going to be lost in the system and also suffering from distressed mental health as a result, believes that caller. Did anyone else get a text message from a waste company stating that regardless of whether you have a bin out or not, there'll be €5 taken off the pay-as-you-go cards? Listeners living alone doesn't have a bin every month, but that's a standing charge effectively, isn't it? Is this a new thing? Is it one company? Is it across the board? Standing charges for your waste? Right, back with the news at 11 after the break.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Get your tyres winter ready. Drop in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
As you start rediscovering Northern Ireland again, we want you to explore with confidence. That's why we've introduced the We're Good to Go industry standard for tourism and hospitality businesses. So you know they've agreed to follow COVID-19 safety guidelines, like social distancing, following the recommended cleaning processes and undergoing spot checks. So you can enjoy your break to the full.
Look out for the safety symbol for businesses that are good to go. Northern Ireland, we're good to go. Brought to you by Tourism Northern Ireland in partnership with UK national tourism bodies.
Christmas is here. It's your turn to host. You want the best for the ones you love most. Aldi quality at prices so small help make this Christmas the most memorable of all. Roadworks award-winning IPA craft beer 500ml just $1.99. Tato party boxes $3.95. In-store 21st of November. Celebrations Quality Street, Cadbury's Heroes and Rose's chocolate tubs only $3.99. And Victoria biscuits just $4.95. Aldi, make Christmas amazing for everyone. Enjoy alcohol responsibly.
Letterkenny Shopping Centre is where real Christmas begins. Get everything you need for the festive season with a wide range of gifts, food and services. Park for free, have a browse, grab a coffee and actually enjoy your Christmas shopping this year. Thank you for visiting Letterkenny Shopping Centre this Christmas.
Hi, Mary Ford here. If you're thinking of upgrading your car, borrow from Letterkenny Credit Union. Our loans have a competitive rate of interest, free life insurance, no hidden extras or deposit, and a speedy decision. Remember, you own the car. There is no mileage constraints with a loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Online application, collection, and transfer to your current account now available. Apply via our app or in our office today. Loans are subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Letterkenny Credit Union is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Wednesday, December 1st, Aunt Bessie's is celebrating Auntie's Day. It's the perfect excuse to call, text or pamper that special aunt in your life. To the Irish aunts that made us, happy Auntie's Day from Aunt Bessie's.
Forward Emphasis International, based in Mallinhead, are actively recruiting for customer service advisors with both permanent remote working and hybrid opportunities available. Experience in contact centres or insurance services is desirable but not essential, as full training is provided. Fully funded financial services qualifications delivering attractive career path opportunities are available. Please visit their website www.forwardemphasis.ie or apply via their careers page.
Good morning again. You tune to your number one local radio station. This is Highland Radio, broadcasting across the northwest on air and across the world online and streaming live across social media for you to watch. Sean McGinley, the actor, is going to be joining us very shortly. We're going to be taking an antigen test live on air and much more besides. But 11 o'clock, time for a news update. Good morning, Catherine Gaffney.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Plans for subsidised antigen tests won't be finalised until later this week or early next week. Health Minister Stephen Donnelly was due to bring the proposals to Cabinet today, but that's been pushed back. The Garda Representative Association says the number of attacks on Gardaí has risen significantly in recent years. The organisation, which is holding its annual conference in Kerry, want mandatory sentences introduced for those convicted of assaulting officers. There are calls on the HSC to reinstate the pop-up COVID-19 testing facility in Inishowen as a matter of urgency. It comes as latest figures show that the COVID incidence rate in North Inishowen is the second highest nationwide and the highest in Donegal. Atlantic Technological University will be the name of the TU in the West and Northwest. The name was chosen following a number of consultations and surveys. Donegal County councillors are set to get a pay rise next year. The pay, known as a representational payment, will increase by just under 40% to more than €26,000 a year. It is hoped that the increase will attract more candidates into local politics. Letterkenny University Hospital was once again the second most overcrowded in the country this morning, with 48 people awaiting beds, 13 of them on emergency department trolleys. That's 17% of the national figure of 288. Donegal Garda is urging people to regularly check their bank balances online after revealing she herself was scammed this week. On this morning's Community Garda slot, Garda Gráinne Doherty said while she was checking her account last night, she noticed 3 transactions from her account despite the fact that she has clicked no links or given her details to any suspect websites. And passengers travelling into Ireland are reporting a lenient approach to checks on COVID certs and location forms by immigration officers at Dublin Airport. A large portion of people who flew here yesterday were not asked for any proof of vaccination or immunity. That's it for now. We're back with an update for you at 12 noon.
OK, Catherine, thanks very much.
Black Tag sale now on at Curry's BC World. Save a massive €400 on the LG 48-inch Smart 4K OLED TV, now 1149. Save €150 on the energy-efficient Samsung EcoBubble 9 kilo washing machine for just $449. And get a 14-inch Asus laptop with 128 gigs of storage and up to 12 hours battery life, now just $279. Save €80. Get in-store or online at currys.ie.
All right, survey said 57% of people want further restrictions. This taxi driver was in contact with us and said that's absolute garbage, Greg. iTaxi, 90% of people I talk to are terrified of another lockdown. They want to see people... do they want to see people go under forever? Another caller says it's about time Europe took control over the present coalition, as they seem to be squandering money where it suits them to gain votes over Sinn Féin. A pay rise for county councillors when we are over €240 billion in debt, and this is paving the way for a rise to all TDs. Well, all TDs have had significant rises over the last while, those that accepted them. This rise to the councillors is... We've had this conversation 3 or 4 times now at this stage. It is the same pay rise that was agreed some time ago. Whether you agree with it or not, this is not another pay rise as far as I'm aware. This is the same one that was announced and agreed quite some time ago. Plenty of money for our pampered councillors, believe this caller, with their already well-stocked bank accounts and well-stamped passports, yet nothing for our underfunded and overworked health service workers. Just shows what our political elite think of us lesser mortals, says Jim. Hi, Greg. In relation to COVID in our schools, the government are doing everything they can to keep them open and doing their best to keep the media spotlight. This law that you can't name a child that has COVID is a deflection. I know a teacher who doesn't even know who's positive or not in her own class. So how is it possible to contain the virus? Our government are manipulating the media and the figures for their own means, and it doesn't matter who suffers in the meantime as long as the schools stay open. And Norma Foley is a minister. They believe she's a joke. But listen, I don't think the media is calling out the lack of recognition that cases are obviously spreading in schools. You're entitled to half of what you pay back on braces, but you have to be paying tax. My daughter got her braces done. I got nothing back as I'm a single parent and only work part-time, but they've done a great job and it's well worth the money, says that caller. Okay, thanks for that update. I recovered from COVID earlier this year, so whenever I got vaccinated, when I had it, it floored me, but I thought it was manageable, which is good for you. Lots of headaches and pains. Now, there are times that I'm tired, but not enough not to go to work. It could just be age, life, hormones, etc. Could I now just take the booster vaccine? Would it leave me covered? Has anyone else done this, and how has it worked for them? It's an interesting question. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, if you're going to go down the route of saying, well, sure, I could take just the booster, would that do me? It's really what your GP tells you, because obviously you have enough faith in the medical system to take any element of the vaccine at all. So I would speak to your GP. I don't know what the ins and outs of that are. I'm glad you recovered well. Most people recover well, thankfully, and that is the fact. And just as a little bit of a breakdown of those figures, because, you know, the truth is most people don't get sick, very sick from COVID. And the statistics are as follows. For every 1,000 people that test positive, about 20 or 25 of those end up in hospital, right? So that's a very small amount of 1,000, isn't it? But obviously it's not insignificant. Now, of that 20 to 25, 10% require critical care in ICU. So it's 2 to 3 out of 1,000 cases end up in ICU. 3 out of 4 of them get out of ICU, okay? But 1 of them doesn't. And so it's 1 in 1,000 people will die at the moment. That's the statistics versus the cases. And that's not a lot. But if you have the 200,000 cases, obviously then you multiply that individual by 200, and that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people in ICU, and that puts the pressure on the health service. And that's why people look at the case numbers and then worry what is to come. So it doesn't really matter if you don't believe in the PCR test or whatever. It's the doctors saying, right, we've got this person in ICU with COVID, and that's really what I go by, to be honest with you. And we have a lot of that at the moment. We don't have enough of it that it should collapse the health service. We should have a health service at this stage with a 2-year run-in. We should have a health service that can accommodate 120 people who are ill with COVID. We should, but we don't. And that's why we're talking about lockdown, or there's worries about lockdown again. Is because the health service is not up for grabs. Okay, actually, I'm going to have to apologise to Sean McGinley. Sean, good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg.
You're listening to me rattling, and I'm rattling, waiting for you to be put through to me, and I didn't realise you were there. So first and foremost, my apologies on both counts.
Don't worry about it.
This is really quite significant for On Green On Theatre and for the arts as well, because this is their most ambitious production to date. It's a full professional production of Brian Friel's The Enemy Within, and it stars our guest now, Donegal native Sean McGinley, in the role of Columba Columkill, and it's part of a series of events in the Columkill 1500. How, obviously certain roles you're going to enjoy more than others. As an actor, what do you think of this role? Is it one of the best?
Yeah, I suppose it is. It's Brian Friel's first full-length play. It was first produced in 1961 by the Abbey Theatre, and we're like in the course of working on this over the last few weeks in the rehearsal room. We're all becoming agreed that this has the mark of greatness about it. The writing here, you can see the great writer that Friel was at this stage and was to evolve into later,
So it's significant in his arc as much as it is significant in that you're playing a part within it.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of meat in this role, and it's very complex, and it's multi-layered, but it's the subject matter, Columba, is something I didn't know a whole lot about, but as it happens, he spent 5 years in Glencolmkill, and my father's side of the family kind of originated there in Durham in Glencolmkill. So I visited there recently, and the significance of Columba in that place. I mean, the place is named after him, after all. And there are traces, archaeological traces there, and there's the Turris, Columkilla, and all that sort of stuff. So he made his mark in the world in a big way.
Yeah, and
not
whilst
just
this is
in Ireland, all over, Scotland, and
while he's a historical character, there's a lot of tangible there, isn't there? As you say, we know a lot about this person. We know his movements. Some of the gaps are filled in, of course.
Yeah, well, there's not a huge amount known. Some of like Friel worked from a source book called The Life of Columba by Donnelly that was written about 100 years after Columba's death, so in the 6th or 7th century. And it was the beginning of written history in Ireland. That record. So Friel has, from the historical record, he has taken certain information, and he has kind of used his imagination as to how these people interacted in this community in Iona.
Yeah, and that is the focus, isn't it? It's a period in his life when in Iona, in the autumn of 587. That's off the west coast of Scotland, for those who might not be aware. So tell us what story is told through this period, Sean.
Well, it's a period in his life, like the central theme, if you like, is exile. What that means, like the reason he was in exile, he took voluntary exile out. There's some historical dispute as to what exactly the reason was for his leaving, but it's a central thing. It's a central thing to the play. The question of like in the course of the play, people, kinsmen, his family members of his, come to him to ask him to get involved in faction fights, for want of a better word, and he's disavowed violence, and he's agonizes over what to do and how to do it, and Friel beautifully articulates, and it's very eloquent. He teases that out. He tears that sort of debate wide open, and Like when Friel wrote this play, we're talking 6 or 7 years before the Troubles started, but the makings of the Troubles were there. The sectarianism and the etc. The historical state that the place was in was there, and I think Friel picks up those themes of how do people understand each other. Well, language has a lot to do. What people say has a lot to do with it. Tribal loyalties.
Yeah, it's about division and a battle for
familial,
the mind and
stuff,
and, isn't it?
How those kind of tribal loyalties kind of distort people's perception, which leads to misunderstanding and so on. And this play deals with that. That's at the centre of this play.
And also too, and we can't frame everything in the current situation, but the theme being, exile. There is it's 1,500 years ago, but there's a familiarity to that for some now.
Yeah, it is. Like the title of the play, The Enemy Within. What is the enemy within? Well, in the play it might be the ego, the thing that gets between a person and the truth, their own pride, whatever. It might also be the tribal familial loyalties that bend your perception of the world. There's a biblical quote in the play that says, "And a man's enemy shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me." So the play kind of, based on the historical character Columba, the play imagines the difficulties for a character who is charismatic and worldly, but who also aspires to transcend the joys of living and be worthy enough to pass through to the next life. So the play talks about humility and community and the banality of evil and violence. A philosophy that nowadays probably would, in certain quarters, would be branded Marxist. But it's Friel's first full-length play. It's beautifully written.
Yeah, but there's a great responsibility with a work like this, and it falls to the likes of you. It falls to another Donegal native, Katrina McLaughlin, and the rest of the cast. It's how you present this as well, which, as I say, I have no doubt.
We're very lucky in that we have this masterpiece of a play by the great Brian Friel, and we're also doubly blessed that we have Katrina McLaughlin directing it, because she's great, and she's about to begin a voyage of her own with the Abbey, and she's pulled together an amazing bunch of actors for this. So, yes, there's always a responsibility to honour the work of the author and to give it to the audience in the best way that we can. So we've been rehearsing up here for the last 5 weeks now, and we feel it's time to get out there and do it.
Yeah, and this is an opportunity for people to see this live, but there is also an online offering too, which I think is great. It's kind of a hybrid situation. The stage setting, is it a single set?
Yes, it is. The whole play is set in Columba's cell. So our designer Marie has sort of imagined it. It's a kind of it's an abstract thing. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Sounds like it lent itself really well to
it's really beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant stuff. I'm going to let people know how they can go along to see it live, how they can go and see it online. Okay. And thank you so much for your time this morning, and the best of luck with the run. Is this your first live show since lockdown? It is, yeah?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It's delightful and terrifying in equal measure. So,
but at this stage, you've learned to use both to your advantage, I'm sure.
Yeah, indeed. But really looking forward to getting this in front of an audience. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, listen, thanks very much for your time and the best of luck with the run. Okay, thank you. All right, it's The Enemy Within. It stars Donegal native Sean McGinley, who we've just been hearing from, in the lead role of Columba, Columkill. The production is one of the key events in the Columkill 1500, which celebrates the life and legacy of Columkill, 1500 years since his birth. It's a great cast. We have Sean McGinley there, of course, as we mentioned. Other actors involved: Francis Harkin, Sean Dunnigan, Ronan Carr, Charlie Boner, Jack Quinn, Liam Kearney, Bosco Hogan, Aidan Moriarty, Kieran McGlynn. It is, of course, directed by Donegal native Katrina McLaughlin, assisted by Tanya Sheena, and it's got a great team in there involved in the lighting, choreography, movement, and so on and so forth. It runs live from Sunday the 21st of November, which it's already started, to the 27th of November. There's no show yesterday, so that's irrelevant now. So there's a few more nights to go. Online, Thursday the 2nd of December to Sunday the 5th of December. Live, it's €25, concessions €20, and online 15 to €40. And you can get more information from Ungrianon box office there. I don't have the online URL. Yeah, go to ungrianon.com and you can find out what's the situation with live tickets, and also booking your online experience there. All right, back shortly.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Get your tyres ready for winter. Call in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Supercharge your Black Friday with Screwfix. Make a bolt for the Makita 18-volt multi-tool, just $84.95. And blaze through your job with the DeWalt self-leveling line laser, now just $109.95. Hurry, they'll be gone in a flash. Deals end Monday 29th of November. Shop Screwfix online and in-store to supercharge your Black Friday now. Visit screwfix.ie for T's and C's, delivery charges and restrictions. Event ends on the 29th of November while stocks last. Battery and charger not included with multi-tool.
All ready for next year? Why not make sure of it with SEAT? Trade up to a 221 SEAT SUV and you'll be offered PCP finance from 1.9% and a 3-year service plan for just $9.99 a month. With the bold new Arona, the stylish new Ateca, or the outstanding 7-seater Tarraco, we're all ready. Are you? Trade up to your 221 SEAT SUV at DMG Motors, Clare Road, Donegal Town. Finance provided by way of hire purchase agreement from Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland, trading as SEAT Financial Services. Subject to lending criteria. Terms and conditions apply. Visit seat.ie/221 for further information.
With such low prices, you've really got to hand it to Lidl this Christmas. Like a 6-pack of Miller bottles, only €9. Or why not treat yourself with our deluxe Panettone Classico for only $4.99? And our Galaxy and Malteser selection boxes get 3 for €9. Lidl, more for everyone this Christmas. Enjoy alcohol responsibly.
It's the Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off on all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in-store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. Stores nationwide. Sale ends Sunday.
Beat the cost of Brexit and no customs charges. Do you need a UK address? For your limited company or personal use, Space Hub in Derry can provide you with your own virtual office or mailbox. Have your post and parcels delivered to Space Hub and collect at your convenience. Also brand new 20-foot shipping containers now in stock. Ideal for all your storage needs at our Springtown and Coolmore depots. Find us on Facebook or spacehubderry.com or call 04871 878077 for details.
At Letterkenny Shopping Centre, we're already dreaming about the festive season, so why not make a start? Park for free and enjoy your Christmas shopping this year. Letterkenny Shopping Centre, bringing you the time at
21 minutes past 11. Now, we are joined on the programme. If you want to watch this, by the way, as I say, go along to our social media on YouTube, Highland Radio Ireland, or you can join us on Facebook, Highland Radio News and Sport or Highland Radio, because we're joined on the programme by Dr. John T. Doherty, anaesthetist at Altnagelvin Hospital and CEO of Jace Medical. Good morning to you, Doctor. Can you hear me okay, Doctor? No, we've been having a problem with our Zoom today. Let me see. I'll put the doctor back out and bring him back in again to see if that works, and chat away while I do. Can you hear me, Doctor, by any chance? No? No, I'm not receiving him. Okay, I'll close that out.
I've got you there now, Greg.
Ah, brilliant. Don't do that to me. It's another medical intervention I'd require rather than an antigen test if you keep that up. Good morning to you, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Right, okay. Now, the government in the Republic are still humming and hawing over antigen testing. It's not on the agenda for the Cabinet today, so we don't know in terms of how they're going to scale it up, how much they're going to be employing them really, or discounting them for the general population. What's the situation in Northern Ireland at the moment in terms of the use of antigen tests?
So, as you're aware, things are about to change at the end of next week considerably, and antigen tests are going to become the staple of giving people the opportunity to get out to events and clubs and gatherings, and that's going to be done through a postal service, I gather, directed by the NHS, whereby you record an outcome and send it back to them on a link on the website, on the NHS website, and then they will furnish you with a little QR pass on an app that will then be used to gain entry into events and gatherings.
Right, so I have an antigen test here with me. Now, I've sterilised my hands. My nasal passage is clear, and the area here was sterilised during the ad break. If I take one of these and I'm going to do it, what is it looking for? What could it find? What might it not find?
Well, essentially, Greg, what it's looking to find is if you have antigens, which would signify a current infection with COVID-19. In a sense, you really have antigens whenever you get sick at the start of a disease outbreak in yourself with COVID-19. And essentially, the antigens are there for about 2 to 3 days. So it correlates very well with your degree of infective activity. So how likely you are to pass it on to another person. So in my view, the antigens are particularly valuable at that early stage.
Yeah, now, in the Republic, everyone is going on the radio, magazines, newspapers, what have you, saying, don't use these when you're symptomatic, because I'm not sure whether or not they identify it or not. You can tell me that as a doctor, but I can understand why they don't want to, because nothing is 100%. They've got more faith in PCR, and they don't want people taking an antigen test, perhaps doing it wrong or whatever, and thinking they're free of COVID and going out and spreading the disease. Do you understand that? Do you get that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I think that the antigens have improved dramatically from when we first started on all of this testing process. Way back at the start, they maybe weren't so reliable. But I think there's been arguably nothing in medicine that has had further investment and development over the last year than antigens. And now they are exceptionally sensitive. They're exceptionally specific as well, somewhere in the region of nearly 99 to 100%. So in my opinion and experience of what we're doing and the wide scale testing, these are very, very effective at picking up COVID. So, and nearly as effective as PCRs actually in the early stages.
Right. Do you want to instruct me what to do with this?
Absolutely. Okay. So if you've, and again, this is part of the process that we're offering by me observing you and then helping you through your difficulties in doing the test. I hope that we can offer the maximum reliability out of the test, So Greg, if you open up the test and take all the packet contents out.
I'm so nervous. Doctors make me nervous. Right. Okay. So I've got the instructions and 3 packets here.
Yeah. So first of all, the outer packet is important as well. If you take that and on the underside, you'll notice a little hole, a little depression. So if you set that down, a flat surface there with the hole upwards. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask you to open up the antigen cassette itself.
The test stand. Sorry, I see the test stand. Okay. So the antigen test is which element of this?
So it's neither of those 2 things. It's in the green and white packet.
Here we go. Okay. So I'll open this. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, right. And take that out. Okay, I have that, yeah.
And if you can just, for validity purposes, and this is part of the verification that I offer, if you show me that closely. So I have the ability to snap that QR code on the test and record that, okay, so that later on we can verify that the test the result that you're submitting to me will match up with that. So it's that test that you're doing and it's that test that you're reporting on. That's fine. Okay. That's good. So if you place that on a flat surface, and then the next thing is getting the test kit ready. So if you get the test tube, which is in the little plastic packet.
Yes, I have that here, yep.
And if you open that and if you pop that into that little holder that you set up at the start in the box.
So, right, okay. The box here. Okay, so that's the hole, and I place that in there like that.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so we have that in there like that, okay.
Excellent, that's fine. And I just put that back on the table again. And then the next thing is you've got a little package there with solution in it,
yes,
okay?
Here we go.
Be very careful and break the top of that and try not to spill any break, okay?
Right, okay, so I wiggle it, do I?
Yeah, wiggle or twist it, whatever it works, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I have that done.
I very gently squeeze that into the test tube. Try not to spill anything because that's all important.
All right, so I'm squeezing that in. I want to get all of it in, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is not fantastic radio, but listen, it's important that we're doing it and we can show this video later.
Sure.
Right, that's the entirety in there. It's about maybe 4/5 full.
And the next part then is if you put that down flat, we'll do the swab, okay? And
this is the bit I'm nervous about because other people do this and have an awful gag reflex. I'm not going to lie to you, Doctor.
It's not a pleasant experience for sure, but these tests have developed, and part of that development is that they only need to be done on the front of the nose now. You don't need to go too far back with them.
Really?
No.
Caroline could have told me that. Okay. So
Yeah.
I have this here. So what do you want me to do with that?
So if you put that in about 1 centimetre into your nose. And
what's that in inches? And I'm not being smart.
half an inch.
Okay. In my nose and rotate it, is it?
Yeah, it rotates. So you're trying to rotate it and touch. That's exactly right. Touch the skin all around.
Okay.
And if you just do that for a couple of seconds more, and then if you try and take that out and repeat that on the other nostril as well.
Okay. God, this is horrible. But thankfully, I don't have to go too far up.
It's not too bad.
Okay, it's horrible. Go on. It's not too bad, but okay.
So then,
watering.
So then, Greg, that goes into the little test tube.
Okay.
And actually, what you can do now is if you put the whole thing down on the table, and if you take the test tube between your finger and thumb and squeeze the bottom of it,
Right. So I take it out, do I?
You can, yes, yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna. It's not ideal, but I'm holding this up to the camera so people can see if they're watching. So I squeeze that.
Yeah, and then agitate the swab so that you transfer any solution into it. That's great.
I get you, yeah, right. I understand now. Okay. And it's soaked up quite a bit of that, has it?
Yes, actually, it has. Now, be very careful and remove the swab and hold it between your finger and thumb so you take any excess secretions from it, okay?
So just take it out?
Yeah, gently, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
That's good. Now you can dispose of that.
The test tube?
No, the swab.
Oh, right, okay.
You don't need that anymore, okay?
That's. I want to put it somewhere safe. 1 sec. Right, okay, so I've got my liquid here.
And then you put the top over on the little test tube. So you make a dropper out of it. No, Greg, just the little top.
Yes, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
right, okay. So I've made a little, I get you.
Exactly.
Okay, so I've got this here now.
Yeah, and if you look at the test itself, it has a little hole with S on it for sample.
Yes, that would be there, located there, yeah.
Yeah, and if you put 2 drops into that little well.
Right, okay.
Now here's the moment of truth, Greg. So the nerves should start now.
And I've got 2 drops in there.
Yeah. So if you just watch that for a second, you can hold on to the tube just for a second. So you can see that the solution has been absorbed into the little well.
Yes, I see that, yeah.
And you could put 1 more drop in for good measure.
Okay, there you go. Right, okay, that's dropped in there. So, okay, I'll keep that. I'm going to stuck that back in there.
Yes. Now you can see on the cassette, the test cassette itself, you should be able to see the fluid moving up.
Yes, yeah, I can indeed, yeah. It's moving up from C. It's past T. It's heading towards C. What next?
So we just wait for about another 30 seconds. Now, these tests are very quick. The advice is that you leave them for about 10 to 15 minutes, but in my experience, that's quite excessive. If you can see there now, in another few seconds, you should start to see the C line, which is the control line, really, which tells you that the test is functional and working.
Right, we've got that, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it there now too. And so there is no line at T, which tells me that you're negative at this stage, okay?
Right.
Now, if we were to be absolutely complete, we would wait another few minutes just to make that call. But generally, if people are sick and if they have symptoms and you don't have any of that, thankfully, you can really rely that that's a negative test.
Are you sure that that's negative? I've got one line there.
That's negative. I'm sure it's negative.
Right, so we can take the camera off that now?
You can, yeah.
Right. That's painless enough. And when I say painless enough, I'm actually not talking about pain. I'm on about process.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not tough. Like, I did one of those before, but I felt I had to go further up, but I just did that maybe in an abundance of caution.
No, that's exactly what you need to do. And, that's a very reliable process to tell you of your COVID status, really.
Right. Now, obviously, if I was symptomatic, I'm going for a PCR test. That's what we're being told to do. But from a medical perspective, would that also reliably show if I was shedding?
Absolutely.
If I was infectious?
Absolutely. At home, for these things to have in the possession of your own home, you can do them quickly and painlessly, and you can get immediate answers, really. The approach in Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK is a little bit different in that these are being relied on much heavier than PCRs are as a first-line test. And so, definitely if they're very useful to have as a first line, and certainly if they're positive, you do need a PCR. You definitely need to engage in all of the processes that are advised by the public health, such as contact tracing and
so
all of that.
I don't want to pitch you versus Lifford, okay, but I don't know, you would have maybe you'd have been familiar with the health committee where they were talking about tonic water and, they're useless if no one has COVID and all this kind of stuff, right? And now they are sort of starting to use them a little bit more. Like, what's your opinion of antigen tests and their role in us controlling this in Northern Ireland, in the Republic, across the board?
I think they're essential, to be honest with you. We've been using them for the last year in large-scale commercial building projects, probably the largest one in the country. And I would like to say that we have successfully managed to keep COVID out of there. And we're testing somewhere in the region of 10,000 people a week. And so for my experience and results that we've achieved, it's there for the proof in the pudding.
Now, I think maybe what they're afraid of, though, is I take this here now, right, and I go, my granny's triple jabbed. I was out at the weekend. I'm looking at this now. I feel I can go and spend some time with her. Do you have enough confidence in that test? That we always have to adopt personal responsibility and care. But you would look at that and go, right, Greg, as much as we can determine medically, you're safe to go and see someone.
Absolutely. I have confidence in staking my life to that. Yeah, it absolutely is reliable.
Right. Okay. That was an interesting... I love what you do as doctors, but I also hate you equally. If you looked under bad patient, you'll see my fat, bald head. But that wasn't too bad, Doctor. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. So if people want more information about what you do, Jace Medical, is it? jacemedical.ie?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. In terms of other people that have done this with you via Zoom, how do I rate?
Easy. You're technologically adept, maybe supported by your team.
I don't know. Okay, listen, it was all right. I'm glad I did it now. Do not swab the back of your throat. Do you not swab the back of your throat and only the nose once?
No, you don't. Not with these tests. The instructions for use for these tests are...
Now, when you say these tests, are there different brands of antigen tests?
Well, as I said to you, there are many different brands, but the tests that we're using are very advanced in terms of their development. So, they've progressed significantly. So all you need to do is the two nostrils.
And that would be for all antigen tests as far as you're concerned?
Not for all of them, but for these that we're using, certainly that's the instruction.
So these, we just have to be clear, these are for Boson Biotech ones. Now, people need to read the instructions on their own tests, but fundamentally they're the same.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I'm going to go and have a quiet lie down. No, I'm being incredibly dramatic. Thanks for your time this morning, Doctor.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, that's good. All right, that's Dr. John T. Doherty for that particular antigen test. That's how they suggest they use it. He's pretty confident. He's got a lot of faith in those tests. That's me non-infectious with COVID. Always read the instructions on your own tests, though, and, we're not trying to contradict. I'm not sure of the exact advice the government's giving out because it's kind of confusing, if I'm honest, as to when you get them, how you get them, how long they take them to be posted out and all that kind of stuff. But listen, from his perspective, and that's how they're being used across Northern Ireland as well, we just did a test and I'm negative.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Get your tyres winter ready. Drop in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Our Christmas club is now open at Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure. A small deposit will secure your favourite items or the perfect present. We have some great gift ideas for all the family, including jumbo rebounders, multi-sport goalposts, Donegal gift boxes and so much more. Shop local and get everything you need at michaelmurphysports.ie.
Candles, lanterns, Christmas trees, decorations and all types of lights. Everything you need for Christmas. Experience the magic of Christmas at Cooney's. Our biggest and best Christmas shop has outstanding value on lights and trees. There really is something for everyone at Cooney's Letterkenny Retail Park.
Homeland fuel offers, keeping you warm for less. 40 kg premium doubles or easy flame coal, $16.99. Buy 10, get 1 free. 1 kg fire logs, 4 for €5. 12-pack wood briquettes, buy 2 for €10. Shop in store or online at homeland.ie.
Central Auto Parts really do stock everything for all makes and models of cars. Shocks, springs, wipers, mats, brakes. Need I go on? And now stocking Celimix and Sunny Car and Commercial Paint. Central Auto Parts, Portlink Road Business Park, Letterkenny. Find us on Facebook or call us on 074 9127 491.
The Northwest Virtual Jobs Fair will be held on Wednesday, 24th of November from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This event is hosted by Eures Cross-Border Partnership, Department for Social Protection and Department for Communities. This event provides an opportunity to learn about the companies and see what vacancies are on offer. Job vacancies can be applied for by uploading your CV on the day. To register for this event, log on to www.crossborderjobfair.com.
It's Black Friday sale time in Inish Fitness at the Waterfront Hotel Donnelly. Save a massive 20% on memberships from 26th to the 30th of November. Give your loved ones the gift of fitness or treat yourself to a healthier you. Secure your membership or gift voucher with 20% off by calling Inish Fitness Donnelly 074 95 22 590.
Now celebrating at Zalando, the perfect look for your every mood. Enjoy our Cyber Week deals with up to 70% off streetwear, winterwear, gifts and more. Discover all our Cyber Week deals on Zalando.
All right, there you go. Glad we did that, by the way. My pulse went through the roof, though. I'm not going to lie to you, but that's a me problem. It won't happen to you. Barbara O'Connell is CEO of Acquired Brain Injury Ireland and joins us on the programme now. Thanks for taking the call today, Barbara.
Good morning, Greg.
Right, now you're looking for engagement with the HSE and the Department of Health to help move hundreds of people out of nursing homes and into a pathway of rehabilitation, obviously improving their lives. And this is something we've talked about on this programme on a couple of occasions. There are people in these settings probably getting great care, but they don't need to be. Need to be in there, Barbara, in many cases.
Yeah, and I think that I suppose it's very strong when the Ombudsman has done a report and done his research, and he has come out very strongly and has worded the report wasted lives. He's talking about people who are in these settings whose lives have no meaning, and they've lost the meaning because they're in a setting that's not appropriate for them. These are young people, under 65. The report was looking at mainly the under 65s, but these are people that are in, as you say, very good nursing homes. It's not about the care they get. It's the fact that they're in a situation that has taken their freedom away, that it's a loss, that their lives are lost. They've lost the ability to make decisions about their lives. They've lost their families. It's a loss to them, and it's a loss to the community because they're no longer part of the community. And their options, their prospects, their development, as I say, with the best will in the world to those working in these settings, they're not going to have they're not going to maximise the positive outcomes. No. I mean, what I suppose acquired brain injury Ireland, we're all about taking people, like 60% of the people we take out are into our services are from nursing homes. And what we know is that when you give people the right supports in the right environment, they just make huge strides. They start to take control of their lives again and make decisions. You know, like at the moment we're working with somebody in the nursing home, and like the big goal is, can I buy my own shampoo and my own gel to do my own thing? I mean, that's how limited it can be in terms of even being able to use your own money. I mean, there's no even consideration around even being able to do, to do a course or to get education. And I think...
and this could be any of us at any time, by the way. We're talking in this case about acquired brain injury. So this is obviously, it's likely these people have been through a traumatic event, but they're going from being me sitting in this chair today to sometime in the future questioning, whether or not I can buy a simple hair gun. It wouldn't apply to me.
Yeah.
But, a deodorant, a tin of deodorant or something.
Yeah, I mean... what I could share with you is our own statistics about Donegal. In terms of, we have a service, and I suppose a shout out to Loughnagh in there. They do a great job in their residential and community services. And basically what we found is that the people that we would serve there are people with traumatic brain injury, because as you know, with Donegal there's a very high level of road traffic accidents. The Road Safety Authority can, give you those statistics. So the people that we would be looking at would be people who are young men, mainly road traffic accidents. We do obviously look after people with strokes as well and other causes, but Donegal tends to have much more of that kind of a cohort of people. So,
and before you go on to, can I tag that on to the Sunday? Because, the particular Sunday, the focus on Sunday was, and we were trying to make this point last week, yes, we know about, very sadly, the lives that are lost on our roads, but I think the particular focus of Remembrance Sunday was people that are injured and have life-changing injuries. And this really actually describes that, because we're talking about people that might not be featured in a news story or an article because it's not a fatality, but their life changes forever following this event. And I think just to actually marry those two, if you don't mind, Barbara, because I think it's very useful in highlighting that as well. So you were going to go on to say about the predominantly young men following road traffic collisions that you would deal with.
Yeah, and I think what Acquired Brain Injury Ireland are trying to say is, look, we have the solution to this. The government actually have this in their programme for government, that they're going to stop putting young people into these situations, against their will in many cases, and that we actually we have proven that with the right rehabilitation and the right trained staff, people can actually come back out and just be able to make decisions for themselves, become more empowered, not need the help that they're getting at the moment. So whilst they might be very dependent at one part of their life, if you put in proper rehabilitation, people can start to take control back of their lives. It's all things like the young people, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they want to be with their friends, they want to go out with their mates.
We can't give up on them. We can't turn our back on them.
No.
Do you have an idea of the amount of people that you work with in Donegal and the amount of people that would require the service? Do you know what I mean? Like, are we able to satisfy demand, say, for instance, in Donegal?
Well, what I can tell you is that the HSE do a really good job in terms of responding, but the problem is they're not given enough money. So a lot of the money is in the nursing home scheme. And that is the money that's all they have to respond to a crisis. So when somebody comes back from maybe Galway or Sligo hospitals or Dublin, they have to come back to Letterkenny General. And then what happens is it's like, well, where to from there? And the option sometimes is only nursing home, because that's where the funding is. And so that's why we would be calling for the government to work with the Department of Health, to work with the HSE, to enable them to get out of that trap. To be able to provide funding.
Well, Barbara, on that too, we have a money tree. We do have a money tree. It turns out we actually do. Secondly, it's in a programme for government, right, that we should tackle this. Thirdly, we have an ombudsman. What is their function? To highlight things like this. Fourthly, we have a report, a stark report, that tells us everything or much of what we need to know about young people being cared for in nursing homes when they can do better elsewhere. If we can't act on that, you do wonder, you do wonder what is the point of any of it, because all the pieces of the puzzle are there.
Yeah. And we also have the solutions, as I said, acquired brain injury, and we've proven it. We're in all the CHO areas around the country. We have the actual research to prove that it makes a difference. It's all there. You're quite right. So, today is about calling out for people to start to advocate, to start shouting about it, to try and get something done about it, because it is the next tragedy. It is the next scandal that's going to happen, is that these people's lives, when he called it wasted lives, I find it quite emotional, because that's what we've been trying to describe for the last 21 years of my life in this organisation. Yeah. My brother was locked in a nursing home. That's how the organisation started in the first place.
Well, that's it, but Barbara, and you know all about it, but it's not just the individual, it's the friend circle, it's mum and dad, granny and granddad, uncles, aunts, cousins. Where is Greg? What's happened to Greg?
Yeah.
Why is Greg not progressing like we hope he could? And I'm just using my name as you know what I mean. So it's not just the individual is our focus.
Life he had before, but he could do other things. All the skills that Greg has are still there, and many of them are locked away. We have a guy we took from a nursing home. He was a quantity surveyor, and he came to live in one of our residences. He's now on the board of a housing association. Using his advice, and what he described was, he said, I had no problem with the older people, Barbara. He said, but I couldn't build a relationship. He said, because they didn't remember my name every day. Every day I was reintroducing myself.
Yeah. But also, decisions are being made in consultation with him and not about him or for him as well, presumably, potentially. Yeah. Right, Barbara, if people want more information, obviously the purpose of this conversation is you're out there saying, look, HSE, look, Department of Health, speak to us, help us to help these hundreds of people. Presumably we can be doing other things with the capacity release in our nursing homes as well. I presume that has to be a byproduct of this.
Absolutely.
If people want more information, maybe to support Acquired Brain Injury Ireland, or to get more information as to maybe how they can contact their TDs, their local councillors, whatever it might be, to try and push this along, presumably they can go to your socials and your website.
Yes, we're on Facebook, Acquired Brain Injury Ireland, and we're also www.acquiredbraininjury.ie. And any support and any advocacy, and just please do get on to your TDs, get on to any local advocates, and just, advocate. I would say if everybody does it in their own place, with anybody that's listening that maybe has somebody with a brain injury, not to be afraid to speak out. And come to us, because we have a service in Donegal, in Knocknagan. So contact your local, Andrea McGonigal is the manager there, and so to contact us and let's pull together on this one.
Yeah, and give everyone a voice and representation. Thanks, Barbara.
Yeah, thanks for the time.
Take care.
Ray.
No problem. Barbara O'Connell there, CEO of Acquired Brain Injury Ireland. You're tuned to the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. We broadcast across the region on air, of course. You can listen to us on your smart speaker. Just give your command and say stream Highland Radio. You can listen to us online via our website, highlandradio.com. And as many of you did, you joined us to watch a part of the show live on our social medias. You can watch all of the show every day. Most of our guests, you can see, they join us via Zoomer in studio. In the last instance, of course, it was on the phone, but feel free to drop in. You're always welcome. Right, okay, now, non-winners bingo draw. You could still be a winner. We are running a non-winners bingo book draw. We're giving away a €400 voucher to the Maldron Hotel Group. You can book your getaway with Maldron Hotels in exciting locations across Ireland and Britain and enjoy 4-star spacious accommodation and delicious food. Now, we're asking you to send in your completed non-winning books for weeks 47, 48, 49. Together or separately, I'd break them up. Sounds like 3 chances to me. The more books you send in, the more chances you have to win. Now, please write your name on the book, where you're from, and your contact number, because we did a draw like this not so long ago, and books were coming out and they didn't have your name and number on them. So of all of your books, not just so if you've got a sheet of them, put your name and your contact details on all of the books and send them in to us or drop them in to us here at Mountaintop. The draw will take place on Friday the 17th of December on this programme. So even if you didn't win, you still have a chance to win.
Today's 9 till noon show is brought to you in association with Ulster Tires. Winter is coming. Get your tyres winter ready. Call in to Ulster Tires in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet today.
Buy a ticket. Buy a ticket in Highland Radio's mega draw to win a car. Win a car. Get your ticket by November 30th and automatically enter an extra draw before the big draw. Big draw. One lucky winner will walk away with €2,000. Imagine, that's Christmas all wrapped up. Christmas sorted. The draw will take place on Wednesday, December 1st on the 9 till noon show. 9 till noon. And you're still in with a chance to win the Kia Exceed worth over €28,000. 28 grand.
It's that simple to win that car.
To get your ticket, log on to highlandradio.com. Highland Radio, exceeding your expectations.
Caring for aging loved ones is a very personal experience, but it can also make a wonderful career. Home Instead help older people live happy, healthy, independent lives at home.
Home Instead, to us it's personal.
Contact us today.
Now hiring in the Fulcara area.
New this week in Home Store and More. All our Christmas table linen is half price. Time to get Christmas ready with festive patterns for the table that is at the heart of every home. But better hurry, because when all our half-price Christmas table linen is gone, it's gone. Also, all Christmas tree lights are still half price. But when all our half-price Christmas tree lights are gone, they're definitely gone. So order online before 2 p.m. today for next day delivery, or drop by your local Home Store and More. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Are you switched on to your energy rights? If you're worried about rising energy costs and are having difficulty paying your gas and electricity bills, you should contact your supplier. Energy suppliers are required to assist customers in genuine financial difficulty and can put in place payment arrangements, such as pay-as-you-go meters or payment plans, to help you better manage your gas and electricity bills. For more, go to cru.ie. Brought to you by the Commission for Regulation of Utilities.
The National Food Waste Separation Roadshow is at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, Friday 26th of November from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Drop in on Friday with your air code and pick up a free kitchen caddy to make food waste separation much easier. Limited stock. When they're gone, they're gone. More information on mywaste.ie. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Visit Santa at the Courtyard Shopping Centre, Letterkenny this weekend. Friday, Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 5. Great gifts and delicious food in a festive atmosphere. The Courtyard, open this Sunday from 12 to 6.
Highland Radio weather updates with National Fuels Pierce Road, Letterkenny for all your solid fuel needs at the keenest prices. 9137400 or nationalfuels.ie.
So today will be a dry day with a good deal of cloud and limited sunny spells. Highest temperatures today 6 to 9 degrees tonight. Dry to begin with clear spells. Rain developing though across the region and moving through it. Should cover us all by dawn. Cold temperatures -1 to +4 degrees. Coldest the further south of the region that you go. Right, some of your comments as we move towards the end of the programme. And I can let you know that this caller says, do you not swab the back of your throat? We already did that one, apparently. Depends on the test. The test I was using, you don't, but you read the instructions. Hi, Greg. My sister-in-law got a PCR test in a pharmacy. It cost €40 because she was travelling international. And then because she wasn't happy, she got a test done in St. Connell's. 2 hours later, the pharmacy came back negative. St. Connell's came back positive. So how are we depending on these self-tests when they're not 100%? Well, it wasn't a PCR test in a pharmacy. It was an antigen test, was it? That is what public health is saying. You know, some countries are very happy with the results from antigen and not from PCR, which is symptomatic. I don't know. We need to know more. Is it a PCR test in the pharmacy or an antigen test she got? Did she do it at home or did they do it in the pharmacy? I'm not... we just need more details there. Antigen test question. Caller's son had symptoms last week, took an antigen test, negative result, took another couple of days later and still negative, got a PCR test which was positive. It's a bit of a concern as the results are not accurate, or maybe there was no COVID present for the antigen tests. You're not supposed to take them if you are showing symptoms, though. That's the public health advice. Greg, maybe when you're at it, maybe you could show how to wear a mask. Even after nearly 2 years, people are going around with it under their nose. It beggars belief. I got a phone call today from Letterkenny Hospital. I have to get a COVID test on Wednesday, as I have an op on my knee on Friday. That is par for the course in any hospital. How long after your jabs before you get the booster? 5 to 6 months, they say, is the time frame. That's when you're the effectiveness of the first two starts to wane. It's better with traffic lights in Stranraer than the way it was before. It's just more traffic on the roads. A bit of patience is needed. All right, listen, thanks for that. We'll be back. We will